And there we go.
All right.
Oh, you coming through all right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I called an echo and I was like, oh, man, I can't hear it. Sam Vaughn, dude. Thanks for joining me, dude.
Absolutely.
Sula Peak Lookout.
Happy to be a part of the podcast again.
Oh, stoked to have you back on. I guess we'll kind of tell the story of like originally we had planned to do this last fall, and then I got super busy and fires all around, and then I think it was Tyrell left early, or was it you? One of you guys like took off back to school.
That was me.
That was you, yeah. And I think it was a date you told me, and I just like spaced it, and also I was like, "Hey, are you around?" You're like, "No, man, I'm in class." I was like, "Oh, cool, man. We'll see you next year."
Yeah, it was a huge bummer because both Tyrell and I had talked about it too, because we had played with the idea of doing it at TP.
Yeah, that was the plan originally, right?
No, that would be kind of scary with all this hardware trying to get it set up and no electricity.
Yeah, I got some batteries. I forgot actually, no, I didn't bring it with because I was going to say I got like a pretty big external, what was like?
A power pack?
Power pack, yeah, it's like
Nice.
a power pack, yeah. I was actually looking at this guy I was working with, his name's Cam, so shout out to Cam from the old Cat Rocks folks. He's an outdoorsman. I think he's trying to kind of grow a channel. Cam Hogan, I think that's his name, and or his full name, and I think that's his name on Instagram, I mean. And but he's got like this Jackery box, and he's showing me this thing, and they're hiking up into Carlson Lake, and I was like, whoa, what's that about? You know, I saw it on his tailgate. And he's like a techie kind of gear guy, so I was like picking his brain. I was like, man, it's awesome. You know, like
That really is.
yeah, and dude, it's so smart, man. Like doing the research and finding the best stuff, man. You're gonna have a better experience, man. You get better gear, you know.
Absolutely. It'd be nice. I mean, if you really were feeling up to it, you could go up the hill to Medicine Point again, drag all your stuff.
Yeah,
That would be incredible.
that would be an awesome podcast, huh?
Hell of a hike, but
Dude, yeah, that'd be definitely a stretch, but I think that'd be good.
it'd be a blast if you grabbed like some of the lookouts locally too. Tyrell, Jen, Ellie, Tanner, folks like that, and then like, all right, let's take a weekend and go up there and camp, hang out, do a podcast.
Yeah,
drink
with
some
everybody,
beers.
share
Yeah.
some stories.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, man, I wish. Like, I wonder if I could coordinate. I mean, I'm a partnership coordinator now, so maybe I could do that. But yeah, because that'd be kind of cool, man. Just get like everybody together and have like a good send off to the end of the year, you know? Because that's what we're always kind of talking about. Is like trying to do more stuff in the off season, like mental health, right?
Right.
And my buddy August, who's on the podcast, he's on the Bitterroot Hot Shots, and yeah, if anyone's kind of interested in checking out that episode, it was pretty good. We talked about mental health and just some stuff we kind of spitballing around. Like, we're not experts, but we've also been through it, you know, been through fire seasons that were just never ending, and then all of a sudden they do end, and you got, what do you do next?
Right.
You know?
You have no direction, and I've been that young guy with, I mean, 40 grand in your pocket and more beer than you can drink, and a couple months later, you're like, fuck, I'm miserable.
Yeah, you're like, hey, I haven't been doing anything, I got nothing to do. And then, like we were talking in that podcast, it's like, because you have no adventure in your life, like fire's your adventure, and then all of a sudden that adventure's gone. So it's like you don't even really feel like calling people because they're like, hey, what have you been up to? And you're like, nothing. Yeah, you don't have a story, right? So it's like, so you start getting more like introverted on that lifestyle. So it's like, man, trying to do something more in that off-season stuff, you know, to bring us together and keep the community and the family alive. Because, you know, essentially, like, and everyone refers to it, we are family in the wildland world, you know,
Right.
and in the Forest Service in general. So it's like, man, I think, you know, and it doesn't have to be agency, but as long as it's something that, like, the agency will approve of, you know, like something like that, like, before they lock up Medicine Point for the season, you know, like, reserve that last couple days for a get-together like that, you know, especially for all the lookouts to hang, because you're talking all summer, but, like, you're not seeing each other, you know?
Yep. Yeah, we tried to do that last year, which was really nice. The folks in Darby, all the lookouts,
really?
so it was like me, Tyrell, and Ellie.
Oh, cool.
We went out to sushi.
Really?
It's like, we have to do this before we all leave. We have to do this.
In
I'm
Hamilton
glad we
there?
did. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Second
so cool.
Street.
Yeah, that's good, man. Because, like, I'm sure, like, you guys be like, hey, man, you remember that thing? And then, like, it just kind of gets the ball rolling out. And you're like, yeah, that storm. Yeah, well, wow, wild, you know?
You remember the fire backing down right down that hill towards you?
yeah, exactly. How exciting was that? You know?
Poor Tyrell.
Oh, is that what happened to him last year? Oh,
It was the Trail Creek.
oh yeah. I was about to say.
And I mean, he had miles to go, but he was watching it like just back down, just inching every day towards the community springer right there.
Oh yeah.
And I think after a while he was like, are we gonna do something?
Yeah, we need.
Not that, you know, effort was being made for sure. It was a big deal, but it was scary watching it advance toward that community, and he got to see that in real time, day and night.
Yeah, man. Oh, and that's the dude. That actually like kind of goes to another point that I've been trying to kind of lace through these podcasts and like sew through these podcasts. I guess is a better word, but lace works, I guess. I don't know. You think
Porque
both
no
of
los
them?
dos? Yeah.
Yeah. No habla.
Why not both?
Yeah, exactly. Why not both? Oh, I like that. Yeah, right. Both, because like that sense of like people in the woods all the time as lookouts, you know, because like there was a push not too long ago. It felt like, and I don't know any of the policy on it, but it seemed like they were trying to get rid of lookouts for a while. You know, like talking to Reen Eustace, he was saying that they actually had plans to burn Medicine Point, but like they couldn't get the weather window, and it's so far out there that they just couldn't quite make it up there to burn it down. And thank God they didn't, because now it's still there. Yeah, and like
why? That's so crazy.
There's no reason to get rid of it, you know, and that was just kind of the thing back in the day.
Why in that type of fashion too? Like, well, we don't know what we're gonna do with it. You guys want to set it on fire? Like,
yeah, he's on fire.
Who's making these decisions?
yeah, exactly. Like, jeez, calm down, man. I haven't had enough fire this year. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that would be a shame to lose, because people do hike to that one and they do enjoy it, and people do rent it still.
Yeah, man. And I, forgive me if I told this on the podcast before, because some of this stuff loops. But
no worries.
I was in the dispatch, just filling in after my surgery, and someone came in, and I don't know exactly how the story went, but I'll just tell it how I remember it. Is that someone came in and was like curious if the Lookout in Ward Mountain still existed, and I was like, I'm not sure. And that was a fella, and I think his wife had been there with him, who had staffed Ward Mountain, one of the last folks. And turns out he hiked up it, and it's a brutal hike up Ward Mountain, and the Lookout's not there anymore.
Oof.
And I was like, dang, man, like he had no idea. Yeah, like, and you put in that effort, man, you're going to see something that like really meant something to you. I mean, even if you spent one season in there, it's so much time, like to be in one little structure and
truly,
yeah, and stewarding the forest, from on high. Like
it becomes your home.
It does
in a different kind of way.
Yeah,
especially with the setup that you have. You live in a box, and it kind of becomes your box.
Yeah, exactly. A little like wooden glass box,
That's right.
Yeah.
My glass house of emotion on top of the hill.
Yeah, dude, absolutely, dude.
I mean, it's your kitchen, it's your bedroom, it's your living room, it's your office, it's your everything.
Everything, yeah, man. Like, yeah, your quiet space. Like so many, you hear so many stories of like folks coming out and writing like poems and books and stuff. I think it was Trina Moyle. We're friends on Instagram. I've been kind of wanting to connect with her on doing a podcast together too, because she's doing some cool things, and she wrote a book. I think it was like Love and Lookout and Love. It's I'm screwing this up. I apologize, Trina, but it's just look up Trina Moyle, and you can find the book. And it's just a book about like her experience in the Lookout and stuff and life. And he's like, oh yeah, we do have a Google machine.
I was like, I gotta put it in my phone right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add it. I'll put it with the others.
Yeah,
all the books I need to read.
I know, because I haven't got around to it yet. And then there's also a fellow who lives in Lolo who I'm trying to think what he staffed a Lookout in Idaho, and he met this this crazy outdoorsman dude, one of the way back old school Lookouts, who was just kind of crazy stories, and they nicknamed him Tarzan, and the book's called Tarzan.
Nice.
And that's John Crawford. I'm gonna have him on the podcast, and like so, like that's two examples just off the top of my head of like folks who like wrote books that are like really good books. Like I've heard Trina Moyle's excellent read, and like you said, I gotta get it, and hopefully I'll meet her one day and get a signature on that sucker.
Right.
Look it up right quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all that to say, like even Tyrell's a writer, and he spends tons of times. He's done a lot of projects over at Teepee, where he's put together a lot of shorts and worked on his like crazy masterpiece of a book. I don't know when he's gonna finish it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think the guy's a great writer too.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll pull it up on Amazon, so I'll just flash it to the camera for folks who want to check it out. But it's Lookout, Love, Solitude, and Searching for Wildfire in the Boreal Forest. I think I'm pronouncing that right, by Trina Moyles.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, let's see what the top says. A totally engrossing story of fear and love, self recommendation. Oh man, I didn't know that word. Healing. And I'm gonna let you look at that word. Let me something. That one's beyond my vocabulary, man. Yeah, can you make out that word? The print's really small too, so I mean,
recrimination.
Yeah, so I guess I was kind of on it. I
Either way, you'll roar through this book.
Oh, there you go. Good way. Yeah, absolutely, man. Good finish on that. I think she's doing some other cool like research and stuff too. So, and when I was at that Lookout conference, I don't think I told you, but I spoke at the Forest Fire Lookout Association.
Really? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like they're the ones who like kind of go around and help resurrect some old lookouts and just spread the good word about lookouts and stuff. And really good folks, man. And talking with Kyle and Gary, and they invited me to come speak, and like I jumped at it, but also I was like, oh man, I wonder what to talk about.
What do I say? Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Because I've never been to one, and it was super cool. Everyone was great, and I think a few of those folks like recommended trying to get in touch with her. So it's part of the reason I was bringing it up. But like that, I mean, just that have time on your hands to pour yourself into a book like that, and you know, heard from more people recently, especially since they see the title. They're like, oh, do you know Trina? And I'm like, no, but you know, I know where she is because it's small circles, and they're like, you got to read the book, and
that's fascinating.
And see if you can get a hold of her. So
I would love to get that perspective of someone else who's worked to Lookout. It's always fun talking to people. Just the stories are so similar but so different.
Yeah, and I think that Boreal Forest, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, is in Canada too. So that's another cool thing, is like to see like how they run things in Canada. You know, like yeah, like a few other folks that follow that get flown into their lookout in Canada by helicopter and stuff, and get resupplied by helicopter. Like that's pretty cool. You know,
it definitely is. It's a lot of solitude, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It can affect people in very interesting ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the Shining effect, maybe, you know. That's the only thing. That's when I think about like solitude, you know, like the movie The Shining, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, all work and no play.
Yeah, and that's what it can kind of feel like, unless you kind of make your work your play, or it's just like, I live in the mountains, like I'm going to take full advantage, so I'd make it a point to go out and hike every day, unless you've torn your feet up doing a stupid backpacking trip.
Exhibit A.
Yeah, right. But you know, if I'm not doing something ridiculous like that, like why not hike, you know, down the hill, even halfway on any given day? Just go explore a little bit. Go look at some new draw that you haven't really been deep in.
Yeah.
And I don't know, to me that's fun. It keeps it interesting, beside like playing games, reading books, making phone calls, whatever else you're going to do to occupy your time. Study, hopefully.
Making friends with squirrels. Yeah, like you was, you know, you hear the squirrel stories, like people having like a pet friend squirrel that's not really like a pet, but just hangs out, you know?
I like Tyrell's because it's the opposite of that. It's the antagonist squirrel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a lot more wooded over there. My lookout is very, it's high desert, Montana.
Yeah.
So mine's more like dusty and rocks and rattlesnakes and stuff like that. Really freaking hot when it's the hot sunny weather, you know, for weeks on end. He's more forested, so he's got a lot more squirrels. I don't really have that kind of wildlife. I get like the occasional buck, the rams, the snakes.
Oh, ram, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the squirrels will get into his outhouse, and they'll grab like nasty toilet paper, and then run off with it. And it'll spread it all over the bottom of his tower and the hill. So he tries to chase them off and keep it policed up and where it's supposed to be in the outhouse.
Keep it clean.
And his stories about chasing after squirrels that are carrying nasty toilet paper, and he's like, "Hey, get back here!" Like trying to pick it up,
trying to hold it in.
Poor guy,
dude, that's brutal, man.
It's brutal. It's like, man, I'm glad I just have rattlesnakes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take the snakes for sure over that, man.
They stay out of my outhouse. That's great.
Yeah,
we have an understanding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You gotta just hang on the surface where I can see you.
Yeah, you hang out over there. I'm gonna be over here.
Yeah. He's like, we give each other space. Oh man, yeah. I meant to ask you. So, like, you know, I was researching on that and trying to kind of keep one ear on you a little bit, which I'm horrible at. But you said Tyrell's he's working on a book right now. We probably talked about that last time.
Yeah, he's been writing for quite a few years now, and he does a lot of like small side projects too. But
really?
he's working on a big book right now with a fellow co-author.
Whoa! Oh, cool. Can you give it like what it's about, or do you know what it's about?
Oh man, it's
Is it like outdoorsy stuff, or is it more like his neuro?
No, it's neither.
Neither.
He's writing like almost like a Lord of the Rings style, like very fantasy heavy story, and I've read some of it and I actually really enjoy it.
Oh,
cool. Like, oh man, you're doing a really good job.
Man, yeah.
It's hard for me to give you a good synopsis of a story,
especially because if it's like an original story too, then it's hard to, like, you can't base off anything. You're like you said, Lord of the Rings. You know, like that's like,
and it's like kind of what it's akin to is what I would kind of say, but
similar flavor, but probably not like same, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and I feel bad. Like, I'd love to plug like, oh yeah, this guy who's a great author who you should definitely check out, who doesn't have his book out yet. Yeah. But I wish he was here. He's super busy right now, because I actually asked him. I was like, hey man, what are you doing on Friday?
Oh yeah.
And he's knee deep in work up in Billings. Oh,
that's what I heard. Yeah, because like one of his family had like some health stuff, right? So they had to stick around in Billings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately. So we miss you, Tyrell. Wish you were here, buddy. Yeah. Right. I'd heard about that at the beginning of the season. That he was kind of taking care of some family stuff.
Yeah, but he's doing well with that, and he's like putting his whole life back together in Billings, which is awesome.
Oh, awesome, man. Probably like reconnect some roots and stuff. Is he from Billings?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. So it's good that he can do that, but continue to work on his passion projects and continue his education and everything.
Yeah,
Everything that man always has his hands in.
Jeez, yeah. Was he going neuroscience or something?
Yeah, he was doing neurosurgery, but they had some doctors leave the program in Bozeman, and he kind of had the rug pulled out from under him when he was in school in Bozeman because they no longer had the neurosurgery program that he was in. And they were just like, sorry, dude, good luck. So he moved to Missoula, and then I don't even know if he did a whole year there before everything happened and he had to go back to Billings, and now I'm pretty sure they don't have a neurosurgery program in Billings. So he's like, what can I do? And I think he might be looking at a chemistry position.
Oh, at the campus or something, maybe like MCB or Rocky?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine Rocky pay more being private, but I went to MCB, but I think if I had to choose, if I were in his shoes, I'd probably go Rocky. Because, have you been on the Rocky Mountain campus?
No, I have not.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain College is a private school, so it's a little smaller and old, man. There's these cool, stone buildings. Ooh. Yeah, and I've only been inside, a couple of them, because I was going to play football there, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was, there for spring camp and hanging around for a week, and then we play basketball against them, so I go, cheer on our basketball players, whenever MCB was playing them. And we also played them in powder puff football. So we go cheer our MCB chicks. Yeah, it was cool, man. It was like a fun rivalry, we get all dressed up for the game and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love that stuff. Kind of like we were talking earlier about the camaraderie of just going up in Medicine Point, or you guys getting together for sushi.
Oh yeah.
That's huge, man. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say too. Another thing I was kind of spitballing with some of the Trapper Job Corps folks, Trapper Creek Job Corps. Was having maybe a basketball tournament or something in the winter.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and having it be since there's kind of 4 districts, but really 3 districts anymore on the forest, because Stevensville, Darby, Sula, West Fork, Darby, Sula are combined now.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the game, I would almost want to depending on. It's hard to. Sula's really thin these days. It'd be hard to get enough players. Maybe we'd do a 3-on-3,
Yeah, it'd be pretty thin, especially folks who stay in the area.
Yeah,
you can count on one hand.
I have to bring you back in.
And, see if I can get some time.
Yeah, maybe maybe do it a Saturday or something, and maybe you probably still do stuff on the weekends, though, huh? If you got a big lab experiment or something going.
Yeah, it depends on what is going on, in any given week, and then usually I'm trying to fill my time let's go snowboarding.
Oh, yeah. Let's go get your brain off something for a while. But basketball might do it.
It might, yeah. And besides, I'm always game for a trip over to Missoula or down here.
Yeah.
Lost Trail is right here, and it's my favorite mountain, hands down. And I've been dying to take my friend here, Ashley, the same one.
Yeah.
And I've talked up this mountain to her for a year and a half. And it's we got to go check that out.
Oh,
so
definitely, man.
It'd be super fun. And there's always a good concert going on in Missoula and stuff to do. So
yeah, constantly, man. Yeah, Missoula's so great to be living this close to it, and yeah, and then maybe throw a little basketball tournament,
Exactly.
She can come hang and it'd be just a good time,
She's a hell of a lot better than me at basketball.
Maybe sub her in. I don't know.
I was like, if she could take my place, that'd be great.
Yeah, I could kind of feel it coming.
Yeah, we played a couple pickup games. She kicked my ass.
Oh really? Oh man, yeah, that's awesome, man. I love that.
Me too.
Yeah, my wife played college basketball, so she's quite a bit better than me too.
Oh, nice.
I don't say it, but
you don't say it out loud.
I don't say it out loud. Yeah, once in a while I'll give it up to her, but she's really good. It's amazing that experience level, man. I didn't play high quality basketball by any means. I wasn't Class B school. I wasn't even really a standout. I was average basketball player. I didn't.
Hey, come on.
Well, I didn't really. Yeah, I was below average, I guess, if we're being honest.
Jeez.
But I was athletic, so I could kind of keep up, and I could play some good defense. But my shot was always kind of garbage. But I could handle pretty good.
Problem.
Yeah, man. I got bad technique from the beginning. I kind of wing in my shot, so it's super inaccurate and inaccurate. And but yeah, it was quick, and I had really good vertical. I went to college for long jump. Ended up doing that. So I could dunk for a minute. I don't think I could anymore because my wheels are gone. But that's about the only thing I had on her. And even then, it's I can't. It's not like I can dunk in a crowd. I don't have that kind of vert or that kind of power.
Jump over a guy.
Yeah, and I can't palm the ball. So I can dunk on a good jump. But it was, so I was thinking in the off season, man, sometime January or maybe December, when with the darker months when people are maybe feeling a little bit more they need a connection, and do a fundraiser basketball tournament at Trapper, and have Trapper put a team, Darby, Sula, or Darby and Sula, West Fork, and Stevensville, and whoever we get together, it doesn't.
Truly.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be fire folks. It'd be anybody,
anyone Forest Service related.
Yeah, we're Forest Service related, and if would work out a little better for the competitive nature is that if you like your duty station's West Fork, you know, so you'd be like representing yours, but you know, whatever it pans out to be, you know, and for the first one especially, you know.
It'd be kind of nice, yeah. And you could always shake it up. I mean, how cool would it be to have like shirts made or something like that?
That's what I was thinking.
That has your home district on it. So West Fork, Sula, whatever, and then I mean you could do jerseys after that, and like, all right, we're gonna do the Sula versus Stevensville thing, but then after that, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
put on a blue jersey, get out there.
yeah, totally, dude. And there's I think it's actually a plaque in the office. You ever seen it down in the conference room there in Sula? There's like I think they used to do almost like a fire game where there was like hooking up Mark III and spraying water or something like that, kind of like fire games. And
yeah, we used to do that for like PT.
Oh yeah,
it was great. Yeah, when I was a rookie.
Yeah,
that shit was a ton of fun.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, like I think every district kind of has something similar for like pumps training kind of thing, but it was like that, but it was between all the districts, and there's a plaque of like who's won the most and stuff. And I want to say Sula's like at least they're a few years in a row. Yeah, exactly. Go Sula.
I was probably there.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably because of you. I get it. I mean, I see those big old arms of yours.
I might have kicked our camera.
I might check that real quick.
My bad.
Oh, it's all right, man. It happens all the time. Last podcast, my friend's dog was kicking it, so.
Oh, shit. That's too funny.
Yeah, you just get off too bad.
Yeah, are we so good? Oh, you got it?
Yeah, did you play in high school or anything?
No, the most of what I did was just like throwing the football with buddies growing up, basketball like in my backyard, you know, because my parents bought us a hoop, which was awesome. Stuff like that. I was gonna join the football team and wrestling team when I was a freshman in high school, and I got mono.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was down for like a month and a half.
Oh, dude, that really sets you behind.
Oh yeah, so I didn't partake in any sports that year just because I missed the season.
Yeah, where were you at? I can't remember. Where'd you go to high school?
I was at Ferris High School in Spokane.
Oh, Spokane. Oh man, I didn't know you were back in your stomping grounds going to school. That's cool.
Oh yeah. Well, I was dating a woman over there a few years back.
Yeah.
And I was still doing the fire thing. It was just after I had picked up a job in Oregon.
Oh.
And she was like, "Why are you not using your GI Bill?" I was like, "Smart. Yeah. Why am I not doing that?"
Yeah.
And that really took over my life, and that ended up being more the priority.
Oh,
and
school.
Yeah, understandable. Like I fell into something that I really enjoy, and then, I was like, well, okay, I guess we're back in Spokane for now.
Yeah. No,
But,
that's cool, man.
Yeah, I always make an effort to come back here pretty frequently.
Yeah. Kind of your happy place, you know, get away from it for a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're getting like two sides of the coin, right? You get a little bit more of the city life with, and probably more events going on in a place like Spokane, like kind of Missoula does, and then you have your getaway to the country for a few months in the summer. And
oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, man, I think it's a really good balance. And
it is
having someone in your life, man. Because I heard someone say this a long time ago about like no one does anything alone. Like you get these people who are super successful and they're like, I did self-made. It's like, are you really self-made though? Like I don't think anyone really is, man. There's somebody who touched your life or helped you, pushed you in the direction, noticed something about you that maybe you didn't notice about yourself. You know, like that. Like I don't know. She saw you crunch some numbers and was like, you're pretty fast. How'd you figure out the tip that fast?
if I'm gonna be a little brutally honest, I think it was selfish motivations of hers where she's like, you're gone all summer. If you were in school, I wouldn't have to deal with that. So I think that might have had a little to do with it. Where
a little larceny towards your fire career.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like, I don't like that you do this fire thing. She's like, it was cute at first, but why don't you stay here?
Yeah, I got to brag a little bit about my hot firefighter boyfriend, and then,
but then he's gone all the time.
But then I never see my hot firefighter boyfriend, and that doesn't pan out, doesn't pay off there.
She I mean, and it's easy, you can romanticize jobs like this, or I mean, really anything. Like the military sounded cool when we were kids too.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you go and you're like, ooh, fuck this.
Yeah. Oh man. Hard living.
Yeah. And I think this was similar for her when she met me, and she's like, oh, that's attractive. Like, I like that you're a firefighter. And it's like, it's all right. It's a job. And then, a year into the relationship, she's like, so you ever want to think about doing anything else?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
So I understand.
Yeah. And so much comes with that, right? Like you said, like it's a carefree lifestyle for folks who are firefight folks. And then, and initially you don't have to see the person as much. You're like, oh, it's kind of cool. Just see him once in a while. And then you get, if you want more out of it, then you're like, I need you to maybe do something else because I want to spend more time with you. And and then the worry, right? So like for a spouse, like
Yes.
guy or girl who's fighting fire has a, guy or girl at home, and, just like you go out of service and you never know when you're going to go out of service. You can't really give a warning like,
Oh, yeah.
hey, I don't know if I'm going to talk to you for another 2 weeks. So just heads up. Like sometimes you don't have that warning and they're like, where have you been for the last 3 weeks?
Yes,
Like,
that exact conversation.
like, well, I was in the woods and I'm too far down the totem pole to be able to use a sat phone.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling ballsy enough to steal it from my foreman.
Yeah, exactly. Who's like depending on that battery life to call in the,
Yeah.
ops and everything else, like the important
I really
calls.
needed to talk to my girlfriend.
Yeah. Why is the sat phone dead? Well, me and Honey talked for a little bit last night. Yeah.
A little 2 hours, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Just killed it. And the extra battery.
Oh my gosh. No, I do remember that being a point of contrition when I was a young guy when I'd first got here. And my girlfriend at the time, same way. Just like, I'm going to be really busy for the next 2 weeks. I'll talk to you at some point. She hated it, and understandably so. It's a lot to put on a person.
It is, man, to be like, hey, can you just wait here for me? I'll be back. I promise. Like, well, you're going to go out and risk your life doing something, that isn't helping out the team, the relationship team, really. I mean, financially it is, but everything else is not,
But yeah, and that's never what she cared about, so it's understandable for her. She's like, no, this sucks.
Yeah.
And then she got to be on the unfortunate side of experiencing the entire season where you're gone and having fun and making money, and you come back and you're like, that was awesome for like 2 weeks. Yeah. And then 2 weeks after that, again, there's just nothing to do, and you drink a bunch of beer, and she's like, you haven't done anything for 2 weeks. I'm like, I know, I hate it.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I just want to leave.
Yeah, exactly. I'm ready to go on fire again. They're like,
Yeah.
I know you're out having fun, but I'm out here like worried about you, and I don't get to talk to you. And you're like,
exactly.
Man, it was cool. We got these drip torches, and we like did miles of like, we burned miles of lines. So
yeah. So I'm like, I want to go do that again. She's like, no. Why don't you get like a part-time job? And I was like,
yeah, it's not.
Especially as a kid.
Yeah, because like it's not fun. Part-time,
Yeah, exactly,
like
I don't want to work at the Staples 20 hours a week this winter.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to go light stuff on fire.
Yeah, exactly. I could run a torch.
Yeah, and that's the problem is like the life lends itself so much to that being okay that when you're presented with like real life, like you should probably have a plan this winter. Not even, you don't have to work if you don't really want to. You could just have hobbies and like stay active and be involved.
Absolutely.
But the fire life is just like, but lighting stuff on fire is awesome. And you can always drink beer. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's totally fine. We all do it,
Yeah. And then you take one of those away and it's like, just going to be an alcoholic this winter, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like you're too busy. And I think a lot of people think like they're drinking a lot during fires, and you're too busy. Like you can cut loose maybe on an R&R day or two, but like even on R&R days, you got to get stuff done. You know. Yeah. So it's like you may have a few beers after shift once in a while, but it's not like as crazy. But then that like drive to go party, it's opened up to whenever you want after the season, and you're like, I'm gonna hit it hard and celebrate a good year, and we all survived and had a good time, made lots of money.
Yep.
It's hard to turn that switch off sometimes.
Oh yeah, and it's Tyrell and I have talked about that too. It's so prevalent through the community, the fire community, is to like develop those kind of problems because of that lifestyle. Yeah. And lookouts are no exception, but you kind of have this weird reverse where you're up at the tower all the time and you have nothing but time on your hands.
Oh yeah.
So 11 a.m. rolls around and you've been awake for 6 hours and you're like, I could drink a beer.
Yeah, I bet.
It's like just a random Tuesday.
Yeah.
You kind of got to be careful about decisions you're making in those kind of situations.
Yeah, have some good like self-control and just I guess self-control is a good word for it, but like management, I guess, you're like earning beers kind of deal too, because I've talked to my brothers and other folks about like seeing family members and loved ones and friends who like retire, and they they aren't earning the calories anymore, right? Like talking to folks who are like, especially like we're in labor field or fire or something where you're out burning those calories, so you like earn that beer at the end of the day or whatever, and or eating whatever, and then you still have that same like lifestyle, but without the activity, right?
Yeah,
the physical activity's gone. So, and I think you kind of see it sometimes in overhead positions too in the fire world, because they're out there doing, they're out there with everybody, but they're just not as physical because someone needs to run the radio, someone needs to like talk to the dispatch and the DO and run the show, and make sure everything else is safe, and that person's not putting a tool in the dirt, because they can't.
I think it sneaks up on you too. One day you probably look up and you're like, I've been doing paperwork for the last 2 years, but eating like I've been out on the line.
Yeah, these Nomex shrunk. These pants used to be bigger. What happened?
I don't need my belt anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Goodbye, suspenders.
Oh, man. But, yeah, that's, I don't know. There's a plethora of problems that come with any line of work, truly.
Oh,
But,
truly, yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot of weird psychological things that go on with fire. You got a lot of weird, like, just regular physical, did I get crushed by a tree today?
Yeah.
type problems.
Oh, dude.
Sorry?
Oh, no, go ahead, man. I'll add to it once you.
Oh, and just, so you have, like, physical, psychological, you have these behavioral patterns that come into play with, like, forming addiction, stuff like that. But anyway.
Yeah. No, the addiction part too, for sure. Like, because you don't get to drink or like do those things like on a regular basis, right? But you get to chew a lot. You can form that habit. But then like the drinking thing, I think sneaks up on folks too, because like it's a release at the end of the day. Especially if you've had like a hard day or hard season, and then that's ends up kind of being a little bit of a crutch. And next thing you know, like you're drinking way more often. And I was and this kind of lends to what I almost cut you off with, which you kind of did. Sorry, but like the kind of like the almost like PTSD effect of like being around fire, and especially these massive fires and a lot of stress, like ton of stress. And then, I mean, I think almost anybody's been around a fire where there's been a casualty, like fatality now at this age. Like when I was growing up, man, like it seemed it's probably happening, but when I first got in a fire, but you weren't around as much. It didn't seem like, it wasn't as prevalent, it felt like. And, and social media and all the coverage we're getting now is way more than whatever was before too. So
Truly.
There's that. But I mean, like, even if it's like not you or not on this forest, it still feels like closer to home when a fatality happens, and it's like,
absolutely,
it's in our community, it's like it's a wildland firefighter, like, man, like, just couple, I don't want to go down that road too much, but like, yeah, it definitely, like, I could feel it kind of sneak up on me when I was getting on fire. Like, it felt like it was closing in almost, like the fatalities felt like they're, not in my world, and then all of a sudden they were like getting closer to home, if that makes any sense.
I think it comes with time spent in the job too.
Yeah.
Especially when you join and you're a young guy and you're like, that's not going to happen to me or any of us. It's fine. Yeah. But I mean, the longer you stay in it, the sooner it's going to happen. Someone that that's going to happen to.
Yeah. That's what I was always worried about, knowing somebody, because like you said, longer staying and fire, I think when I looked it up, there's like 10,000 wildland firefighters that are federal, like Forest Service. And so it seems huge, but it's really not, man. Like, everybody knows everybody, So when something happens, like, you may not know them direct, but you know somebody that does, or someone's worked with them, and it's like, oh, man, so it's a bum deal,
It is. And it's tough.
Yeah, it really is, man. So hopefully, with this new Tim Hart Act, like, speaking of bad casualties, like, that was a real bad one there. He was a great guy. I met him for like a hot second when he was a rookie, and I was like, man, I think that was my last year in smoke jumping, or second last year.
Dang.
But yeah, but hopefully this Tim Hart Act, gets to keep moving on, and his name kind of lives on because of it, and but the stuff they're trying to do is like the mental health part of it, and have a little more wellness program, which I think is huge. I don't know how you do it, but if we could have like a little bit more of those mental health days, not just like go sit in the river and fish or float down the river in a tube, like I think it almost needs to like be the option for some professional help too. Like, why don't you go, you don't have to spend this whole day like, laying on a couch, but maybe go talk to somebody, like have someone come to a district maybe, or whatever it might be, and just be like a professional and come talk to some folks. And it doesn't even have to be like real organized. You like just that person walks around, ties in with everybody, make sure they meet everybody. And as a professional, I'm hoping that maybe you could pick up on if there's something that like a wire that's kind of getting loose on somebody who, as me and you are like, this is great, right? And they're like, they're like, yeah, but like maybe there's something else brewing that like normal humans don't really notice, but like a professional, would be like, a therapist would be like, well, that was a weird response to that.
True.
Or like, if we get the weird response, we might just laugh. Like, oh, yeah, it's funny. Because we don't know they're serious. Like, oh.
Coping mechanism.
Coping. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that happens a lot, right? Coping mechanism where they're like using comedy to cover, to mask some pain,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be a bad deal too.
Yeah, and it's one of many coping mechanisms that it's super prevalent in fire. I mean, you laugh about all the stupid stuff, No one got any sleep last night.
Yeah. Hey,
aren't we so happy about that?
Yeah, we're making so much money.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we're worried about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. A common concern is like people being too busy during the year for that. And I mean, it's true. We were talking about the work culture in the Forest Service is kind of rough because it's expected that you pretty much if you get a day off every 2 to 3 weeks, what's normal is, as your supervisor, I would expect. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Got the ear on.
I don't need to be too worried, but
yeah, you just never know. Someone pops through.
As your supervisor, it would be super normal for me to be like, so you're gonna spend that one day off that you have this 3 weeks cleaning all your stuff, right, and making sure you're ready for Monday.
Yeah. You're
gonna just do work stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not getting paid to wash your work stuff and reload.
Yeah, you're furbing all your stuff, right?
Yeah,
you got all your stuff, right? You replace your everything.
Yeah, exactly. You got fresh water. You got food. Like all the stuff. Like clean socks and underwear, ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Young Jacob's coming down to Sula.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, they're coming off the Bulls fire.
Oh yeah, late evening.
Every night.
Oh man, yeah. Like the one that like that stuff too. Like it seems like normal. It's just driving, but I mean, be on the fire all day, and no matter what you're doing. I mean, even if it's not that active, and then it's pretty good cruise back this way, isn't it? Because you're going to Rye Creek, is it to get to Bulls?
I don't
know how you get to
It
Bulls,
might be Rye. It's so far north that I can't really get a good pin on it from here.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, no, it's up Scalco actually.
I was gonna say. I thought it was further north.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because Tanner had a beat on it with Ellie.
Yeah, exactly. And
they cross-azimuth it together.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and someone was telling me that like Gird Point was like, the old lookout there would have been like prime spot to be for, keeping eyes on that sucker.
It'd be so cool to bring some of those back. Yeah, stayed a couple of those lookouts.
Yeah,
but I mean, it does seem like the list of lookouts is surprisingly small.
It is, man. Yeah, and especially when I went to that conference, and talking to the folks that are really involved in that, in the lookouts and the preservation, and man, yeah, like it's crazy that like two of them on our forest are volunteers. Salmon and St. Mary's.
I am surprised by that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's cool, but like, man, it's like a GS5. Like, you should be able to staff it.
Would they pay them? Like, is it? I guess I'm ignorant to what that understanding is, but
I know. I wonder because like volunteer firefighters actually get paid a lot of the time. So I don't know. I don't think it's like that for us. I think it's like actual volunteer. You just go up and hang and maybe supply with food and water. But
I got to be completely honest. I wouldn't be here if it was a no. You'll just do it for free. Like, no.
Yeah, I'd have to be retired.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, otherwise you wouldn't get any kind of devotion out of me. Oh, sorry, I'm hiking.
yeah, exactly. Oh man, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Like even if I was old and retired, I don't know if I could like just man the Alidade and the radio all day. Like being up here.
Yeah, I think the lazy millennial in me would come out on top, and I'd be out hiking somewhere. And
probably that's lazy. I'm just more curious. You're like,
you know what I mean? Though. Like I'm not gonna work for free.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, man. At least like at the performance level that people would really want out of you, like just like chaining yourself to the radio, during the day. And
yeah, I'm not gonna carry this thing around with me day in and day out.
The old Bendix King. Yeah,
it's one of the newer ones.
It is,
well, but I mean, for me.
But it's actually obsolete now.
It is. Okay, so that's the crazy thing. That, to me, is new this year. And I'm like, oh, my God, I have one of the little ones now. That's so awesome. It's so light.
Yeah.
And it used to be this chunky thing that had a huge battery pack on the bottom of it.
Looked like it came out of Vietnam.
Truly.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I first picked one up. It's just huge.
Yeah.
I'm like, how old
they work like shit.
Yeah.
So this one works better, and it's lighter and all this stuff. And now it's hilariously obsolete now that I've got it.
I know, dude. That was kind of same with my experience. Like by the time I got one, it was sort of like knowing that they weren't making those anymore, and we're gonna get a different one that's like back to being huge.
Yeah. Okay. Have you seen the new ones this year?
Yeah,
they are big again.
They're huge. I was like, oh, hopefully it's better.
Yeah, the crew hates them.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, they're just so bulky. I think they eat battery too. So
I love the rechargeable one.
Yeah, it's so nice, man. And the old ones, man. It's funny. Like the old ones were around so long. People were so creative with them. Do you remember people would like take a copper pipe, and like you get the right diameter so you could fit a car charger in it. And then some people clip the bottom and you could screw it like onto the old battery and like make sure you're touching both terminals. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, the old Bendix King, and then you could charge your phone or GPS, whatever you wanted.
That's hilarious and sketchy.
Yeah, I never even really thought about it, I guess, but I still got one of those little copper pipes in my bag because you just go and cut like a 2-inch, 3-inch little copper pipe and carry it in your pack.
We had a guy who was doing that on deployment.
Oh, really?
Something crazy like that. Yeah. I mean, we didn't have electricity for a while, but we had this generator set up and he found a wire, and he like disassembled his phone, reassembled his phone, and he like sheared some of the jacket off this wire, and he was like, all right, and he like touched one part to the inside of his phone where like the charging port is, and another like onto the side of it, and he was like, sick, it's charging.
What a gamble.
Yeah, I was like, Smith, you gonna hold that for the next hour to charge your phone? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here, baby.
Okay.
Oh man, that's dedication.
It is. I mean, he was happy with it. His wife was happy about it, but
Oh yeah, I don't know if I'm in the like gamble. I guess like my phone is like my photo album, you know. Like I don't want to lose all that, you know.
right.
I don't trust the cloud enough that much, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah. Look at you. Speaking of trust, you don't even have a case on your phone, you wild animal.
Yeah, that's just me being stupid.
I mean, that's the way it's meant to be enjoyed. Naked.
Naked. I put one of the
little screen protector on?
Yeah, thank you. The screen protector cover. You can see it's all scratched up and jacked up already. So I went rock climbing the day after I got it, and it
feels so much better this way though.
It was in my pocket, and as I was like shimmying up a freaking crack in this cliff, I could just feel it like scrape along the side, and I was like,
yeah, you know it.
Super glad I have that protector on the screen.
Yeah, man.
But my parents knew that I had replaced my phone recently, and I went to visit them, and they saw it, and they were like
a new phone?
They were like, really? You had that for 2 days? I was like, it's the protector. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
They weren't impressed. They rarely are.
Yeah. One day they will be. I mean, they're probably still proud of you, though. You know, like
they are. They just hate my job choices.
Right now.
They used to.
Yeah.
They were not happy about the military or the firefighting thing. They've calmed down since I've calmed down.
Well, yeah, exactly. I could see that, you know, chain reaction there, you know, correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing one dangerous thing to another dangerous thing.
They were so happy I was out of the military. So sad to learn I was moving to the middle of Montana.
You're like, what? To do what?
Fire.
Yeah, exactly. Man, do something safe for a minute. Just help us out. The stress level of your folks had to be pretty high for a while. How long were you in the military?
I was in for 4 years.
Damn, I appreciate your service.
It was a job. Thank you, but yeah.
Yeah, still though, man. Like not everyone joins, you know.
It's true. Yeah, but most people definitely could, and it's fine that they don't.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it's nice that we're in that kind of world, right? Like where you kind of got the option. I actually thought about coming out of school, and I think if I didn't find the Forest Service, I probably would have went that route. And then actually went back to school. I looked into ROTC because I already had my bachelor's, and I was like, oh man, maybe we'll get ROTC to help pay for grad school. And but I had Crohn's, so like they wouldn't let me in.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that was a bar.
I didn't either, really. So like, and I probably didn't do myself any favors. So I was like, do you let folks in with Crohn's disease? And they're like, no. I'm like, just checking.
Interesting. I mean, technically, there's a waiver for pretty much anything.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I remember I had a friend in high school, like, had quite a bit of trouble. And like, from what we knew, it sounded like you weren't going to be able to get in the military. And he just, was a wild young fella. And, but he got in. And
yeah, I was going to say,
did really well, I think.
They don't take felons also, and I knew guys who were absolutely felons.
Yeah.
But it's paperwork. It's like that we were talking about earlier. Is it paperwork? Then someone's not going to want to do that.
Oh, true. Yeah. All depends on who you get, right? Like, but they get some of those recruiters get a little bonus for recruitment, don't they?
I believe so.
a
And
little more incentive.
I knew a couple guys who would hustle to try to get people in, and they would do the work.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's that kind of mindset where other guys are like, if you are not 2 pieces of paper, I just don't want you here.
Oh yeah.
Quantity, quality, maybe.
Well, it could be a little bit of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, you might get more recruits if each one of them is easy, and you try to pull in people who are easy to sign up and send off. But yeah, I mean, I don't envy them their job.
No, man, it's tough because especially like a young, high school kids, anything like me, who's just kind of like all over the place, like tracking me, especially pre-cell phone, tracking me down. Like I may have committed verbally, but to actually get me to fully commit. And maybe if I even want to, but like so much going on, in my high school world, like that'd be pretty low on the bar. If I was like gonna go to some kind of military route out of school, Is that what you did right out of high school?
Yeah. I think it was kind of always in the back of my mind, too, that it would pay for college.
Smart.
That was probably going to be the only way that I would have gone to college at that point. So I think that was always in the back of my mind. But also it was like the group of folks that I was with, it was a surprisingly small amount of perceived options for us. where we didn't really know what to do. We didn't really have anyone sit down with us and be like, so you're like about to turn 18 and what do you think you want to do?
Yeah, dude.
We should talk about this. And that seemed like one of the very few options.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know, like, it sounds like it's a common thing in high school to have like folks like us who are not like going to be your valedictorian, you know, not like
I did
honor
not
students.
care. Yeah, I did not care when I was 16.
Me either, dude. Like, and we were talking about it earlier, like for me to be able to like almost squeak an A in physics, you know, 1 and 2 with calculus, you know, like I was just like a couple points from getting an A, man. And like, not good at math. I never took trigonometry, you know, I never took any physics, you know, and so just bailing to physics with, was it physics with calc? Is that what calc-based physics? Is that what it is?
Yeah, calc-based physics or just like algebra-based.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they only offered calc-based physics, you know,
Sweet.
that semester in Dillon. And I was like, well, you know, I talked to the professor, and he's like, yeah, I mean, well, you know, see if you can do it. And, yeah, I was able to do it, but, I had to put a lot of time in the library and after hours. It was funny, you know, like being an old guy, I think, you know, in class, I was 30 or something when I went back, and, yeah, like, no one was sticking around. Like all these high school, college kids, you know, like you see them like they're just relieved to get out of class and go and do whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm like still in the class, like I know I need to figure this out because it's gonna be on the test, and like I'm not leaving this room. So then like professor would go take a break or whatever, and then his office hours would start like an hour or two later, and I would just hang. Like once in a while, maybe I go get some food and take a breather and go get some caffeine, like coffee, and come back.
Yep.
And there's one other time when there was one other student there and working on the same problem I was on, and then never saw anybody again for the rest of the semester. It was just me.
Oh yeah, I know that struggle well. Living at the department
Yeah.
during the school year, like get up like 5:30, go to the gym, take a shower, get ready, go to class, work. Then like, all right, I gotta figure out this homework that I don't know anything about yet.
Yeah, dude.
There till like 6:30.
Yeah.
Pretty normal.
Yeah. That's kind of, I was too, man. But even for like human anatomy too, because the failure rate in that one's pretty high. You know, it's there's a lot, man. You cover the whole human body, and like you realize the layers. I mean, just like the eyeball, you know, is a lot, you know, and then the rest of your like endocrine system and everything else, you know, that you go into. And so learn that. I mean, the kidney, man. Oh my, nephrons and all that stuff, you know, like, but yeah, so like I knew that one was gonna be a tough one too, so I was pretty just living at school for that one too, and I'm pulling an A in human anatomy, which is like really hard, you know, and so it's like, hey, my brain works, but in high school, no one would have thought that. No one accused me of a workable brain, you know.
I know, yeah, but I mean, as a kid, it's so easy to have ridiculous priorities.
Oh yeah,
I was so much more concerned with my high school girlfriend, you know, when I was 16, and I was more concerned about like, are me and my 3 friends going to be able to get a 6-pack of beer this weekend? Like, stupid thing.
They're like, man, I wonder if we could talk the seniors into getting us some cigars. You know, like that.
Yeah,
kind of
truly
stupid stuff, you know?
stupid stuff like that. Yeah. So coming back as an adult and being able to prioritize, you know, your future and these classes that you take, it's a different world.
It is, yeah. Like putting all your focus in. I mean, there's no way I could have focused on something like that.
I think it might have been young Jacob.
Oh, was it back in Sula? Or?
Yeah, I think he probably is by now.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, awkward pause to the podcast.
No,
the resources are home.
Yeah. Well, wait, showing the real thing, you know, like real Lookout, getting real radio traffic, you know.
Oh yeah, and that's, I guess we had kind of wandered away from that earlier. It's super hard sidetrack to like early days in school and silly stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were on about. Maybe just the job, how demanding it was, but I had this thought of like, oh yeah, these guys are, you know, they're not clocking out for the night, but checking out for the night. So they're now back home at their station at 8:30.
Yeah.
They called in to say, hey, we're headed to that fire. It was 6:30 this morning. Yeah. So here we are 14 hours later, and now they have stuff to do. Now they have to furb their equipment, and they have to make sure all the saws are gassed, and they have to make sure their stuff is sharp. They need to make sure that the trucks are gassed, all of that, and then they can go make dinner.
Yep. Yeah. Clean up everything that they use today and make sure, like you said, it's all restocked and ready to go. And chance that they use water, you know, and depending on if they use the engine, you know, like that's 300 gallons, and that doesn't just fill up like that, you know.
Hydrant.
So yeah, you get the hydrant, and that's a slow Yeah, at least when I was there, we were using the garden hose.
Oh.
So that takes forever. Well, it looks like they got a better
who
set now.
mistreated you?
Oh, right. Oh, God, I've had that so many times.
I was gonna say that's so frustrating.
It takes forever.
Garden hose,
Yeah.
toy hose, or fill it.
Toy hose.
I don't even want to think how many gallons engine.
Yeah, I think it's 3 something for Type 6.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oof.
3.5 maybe.
Yeah, 350, I think, yeah. And then I think 500 is Type 5 typically. And then, it goes up from there. But
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, so
Yeah, that's a
days
really
like-
good point.
days like that to expect you on your one day off this 3 weeks. So like, hey, are you cleaning your stuff? And
Yeah.
did you take your pack home and did you take all that stuff out and did you put it all back and did you put food in there? Like, could I have had an hour at work to do that?
Yeah, oh, exactly, man. And
I wanted to go to the lake.
I know, and I work with folks that are pretty good about that. Like,
That's
hey,
good.
like, make sure you're clocking like 2 extra hours of refurb time so that
Good.
you go and do your laundry. Like you shouldn't.
That's appropriate.
Yeah, like you shouldn't. Like most structure departments, at least that I'm familiar with, like the one when I worked in Great Falls, for the Great Falls Fire Department,
Mhm.
Great Falls Fire and Rescue to be technical, but they they had a washer and dryer right there. So like you would do it on shift,
Yeah.
and that's like you said, it's appropriate. The clothes you're wearing is for that job.
And you can't wash it with your other clothes because it's covered in diesel or
Yeah.
burn mix,
Oh, burn mix, yeah. Well, then, like, I think,
bar oil.
yeah,
whatever.
totally, yeah. And I think the Forest Service is kind of getting more to that particulate matter, like the fire department does, where you only wash your turnouts in that special washer and dryer, like
Probably as it should be.
as it should be, exactly. Like, and, they're finding out that our yellows that people don't wash as like a badge of honor is, got all kinds of carcinogenic, particulates on it, and
That's up against your skin day in and day out.
day in and day out. And what I heard when I was in school is that your skin is basically a giant tongue, because you absorb so much through your skin,
Yeah.
so it's like
Interesting.
weird thing about it, right? Yeah, so like whatever you put on your skin gets in your body, and
Right. Definitely.
like you said, man, all that stuff and retardant and ash, and if you're carrying a saw, typically you got some bar oil and all that stuff that gets on you. And
A leaky 30-year-old saw just
Oh.
draining down your back on your hike up.
it's the worst feeling. It's so sticky, especially especially if it's. I'd rather have gas. It burns, but I'd rather have the gas because the oil
God.
so sticky and you're
Well,
stuck with it.
They're both horrible.
They're both
But
horrible.
They
Yeah.
shouldn't be on your skin at all.
No, yeah,
We were on an assignment up to Glacier, which was super cool. We were really fortunate because they cleared the park out, so no one's allowed in except firefighters.
oh yeah,
So it was just dead quiet, gorgeous, beautiful, no one around except
Yeah.
for these raging fires that we were messing with, which is fine.
yeah.
But this crew set up a pump in one of the rivers, and they set the big pump on top of the fuel line.
Oh,
So it had punctured the fuel line, and it had just been leaking gas slowly out of the jerry that was attached.
oh no.
So about 3.5 gallons, the 5-gallon jerry was in the river
oh,
and
that's
on the-
bad.
on the shore.
Yeah, real bad deal.
And they were furious with the people who set it up, and we were the ones. They were like, please go in there and clean that up and set the pump up right.
Yeah.
So we had to dig up gas and oil covered rocks, put them in those little green bags,
Oh yeah.
and just hike it out. And I mean, everyone was just coated afterwards. And this one rookie in particular, he didn't line his backpack very well,
Oh no.
so he just had like gas burns down his back. He's like, no, I'm fine. We'll keep going.
Whoa.
And good on our foreman at the time. He's like, no, you're gonna take your clothes off, and we're gonna swap them out of camp, and you're also gonna take a shower and change.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like old school would have been like, well, you should have done better. Like your fault. Like blame it on the person.
Right. Ruck up, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Learning experience.
Yeah.
Like, no, man.
So
Like,
hats off to Jonah Vaughn. He made the right call.
oh yeah.
He's a good dude.
Jonah's such a good dude. I was
Yeah.
talking the other day, man. He said something like super profound to Micah, and I could not recall it. And I was trying to tell, it's horrible when you're trying to tell the person who said it, like, you said this thing one time that was like really deep, and it was about something, but I don't remember.
And he's just like, what?
He's like, I don't know, I talk a lot. I'm like, yeah, you talk to a lot of people too, so I don't know. But like, he's
Yep.
got such a big brain on him, dude.
Oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
and that's what I was getting at, because I was just, him and Shannon are both just like some of my most favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
Like, so happy they found each other. Like that kind of thing. Like when you're around them, you're like, oh god, you guys are great. You know?
Yeah.
Like, and so I was like, talking about having some kids, and that's kind of where we went down. I was like, you guys would make the world a better place if you guys have kids. Like that. That's how awesome they are.
Right. It's funny. I don't know what their thoughts or feelings on it are, but it's funny when you talk to people like that, where you're like, you guys should have kids, and those are the kind of people who are like,
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah, they, like, yeah, we talked about it, like, and which is cool. I mean, like, I wouldn't pressure him or want to pressure him, but like, also it's like weird pressuring somebody to have kids. Like, no, like, you guys are awesome. You guys should make more awesome people. Like,
we need more awesome people.
yeah, like, especially like to have all like what they have, like intelligent, hardworking, caring. Like
Yeah.
those three things are huge, man.
Yeah, just so many beneficial qualities between the both of them. It's great.
It is great, man. And the way they vibe and the chemistry they have, like, so it's when you're around them, you feel good too. You know, like it's just awesome folks. Lucky to know them, lucky to have them.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But you gonna have kids someday?
Well, the single thing is a part of that first and foremost.
Oh yeah, true.
But assuming that changes, I have considered adoption, so I'd probably happily have one or two of my own, and then I'd really want to adopt.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, we kind of talked about that too. I'm still like up in the air, but yeah, it's a good thing, man. So many kids do need good homes, so doing the world a favor in that,
And I mean, I do have hope in that regard. The last woman that I was seeing, kind of, sort of, hopefully more. I had mentioned that to her as well, and she's like, "Yeah, that's a really good idea."
Oh, cool.
Oh, perfect.
Well, yeah, man, and that like kind of lends itself to more stuff we've been covering before the podcast, mostly, but like just communication. Having good communication with folks, like especially like in relationships, is hugely important. To just be like, what do you want out of this? What are you looking for in life? And being honest with the other person, like not being like, well, I know what you want me to say, so I'm going to say that,
That's easy to do.
It's so easy to do, and especially as a younger kid, you can definitely fall into it because you're like, you are, like a girl, and you're talking to me, and I want to keep you.
And as a young guy, you're like, what do I need to say to make sure this keeps going on?
Yeah, I don't want this to end,
Right,
like,
and it's foolish, and it's short-sighted, but I mean, again, as a young guy, you're like, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got a girl that's talking to me, and I want to keep this going.
Whatever you want is what I want. Let's do that.
8 kids, sure. Like whatever. No kids, fine.
8, 0, whatever. Anywhere, any number between there.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take it on.
Yeah, but being honest with one another, man, that's a huge hump to get over that I think it can be lost on people at times. Like, how difficult that can be.
Mm-hmm. Like those little intangible things that, like, I guess you'd say intangible, right? Like,
sure.
Teaching those skills, like I guess I've just been kind of on this thing lately, like, public schools and college and all these things, and like, just doing a better job for our younger generation, that kind of communication. Like a counselor in high school, like I never talked to my counselor in high school. I don't know too many people that do, like they have a purpose and they help some folks out, but like there should be some things that is more like, like how do you talk to the opposite sex or the sex you're into? Like how do you talk to someone that you're attracted to? Like,
absolutely, I think that'd be a very valuable skill to have. Yeah,
being able to teach healthy conversations. Like you're attracted to somebody. How do you let them know in a just a friendly, open way without being mean or
weird, aggressive. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's lost on a lot of dudes, especially. Just speaking from my own experience, being a guy, being around other guys, where you get into these jobs like fire, like the military, where you're surrounded by more dudes.
Yeah.
And none of you knows anything about the opposite sex. So when it comes to actually interacting with them, it could be a little shaky.
Yeah.
And I mean, embarrassingly, like it took me quite a while to get there, but one of the best things that ever happened to me was when I picked up my winter job at the school as a teacher's assistant. Pretty much the entire department was women. And at first it was a little jarring. And then not very long after, it's like, dude, we're all just people.
Yeah.
Just talk to them like you would talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And don't be an ass, to anyone. And it's pretty much all it takes.
Yeah. It's really simple, man. Like like you said, I think most young fellows are overthinking it. Movies kind of like don't help you out.
No.
You get like some advice from some peer, an idiot
Yeah.
that like, but is like maybe having more success talking to a girl or has a girlfriend.
It's the story
of
my
like,
childhood.
Yeah, you're like,
I can rub my temples right now.
Brutally, like you're like, Stu over there knows, is talking to. He's got a girlfriend and he told me to do this.
That's and turns out Stu's an ass.
He's got super lucky, and like. Or he's not like that at all. He's talking a big game, and then like when he's around his gal, he's like, not at all like super sweet and kind, and holding doors open. But when he's gonna tell it to the boys, he's like, yeah, I just do what I want, like that kind of attitude. And you're like, that's not true, you know.
And it can create weird dynamics when people come to expect that out of guys, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
and that's the real kicker too. Is like we're all different. You
Yeah.
know, men and women, either side. Everyone's different. So you're going to have different dynamics for sure. Like just in my own like dating life since I've been an adult, I had one ex who was very sweet, but very much like the feminine homemaker, didn't want anything to do with like really anything like physically taxing. And that was fine. That's what she wanted. A woman I saw recently was like the polar opposite. She's like, no, I want to hike and like rock climb and shit like that. And like, I'll help you fix stuff around the house. It's like,
Yeah, awesome.
like this, like,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know that I enjoyed that. I had this weird competition thing going on with her, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
It was like if she climbed something better than me, she'd like kind of look at me like, "Yeah, I did beat you at that route." And I was like,
take that.
"All right,
Yeah.
now I know which route I'm gonna practice."
Yeah,
And
like I'm gonna try that.
yeah, and that's something that I had never been exposed to and never even knew I would enjoy until I met her, and it was wildly eye opening. Super cool.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think that kind of. I think I had a similar experience. I mean, I probably had a lot of growth that I had to go through, and like also, the stupid, weird pressures that you have as a younger person that you put mostly on yourself, but like you're like, oh man, I gotta, like you said, be this kind of person, wild or whatever it might be,
Like, you just gotta be who you are.
Yeah, and just talk,
Yeah.
like there's, this one thing that was told me a while back was just like. Just ask questions and listen and give a good give a good response, and be honest, like honesty is like the biggest, because also then
you'll find out really quick.
Yeah.
Like what if something is going to work, if you like what's going on, if you don't.
Yeah.
A hilarious story I have about that is that same woman, I was with her, another one of my friends who's also a very competitive lady and likes to, be the first one to climb the wall or whatever. And another guy who's in our group, who's a part of the vet group.
Yeah.
And he's going through some stuff, so he's venting a little bit. But he was like, yeah, I just don't get it, what it is. Like, that ex of mine, like, she was constantly so aggressive and so confrontational, and there was so much weird, like, headbutting between us. And when you're that competitive, like, it feels like I'm dating a guy. Who would ever want that? And I'm just, like, looking up from the ground, like, look at who we're with. Stop.
Yeah.
Fern, stop.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we need to talk. Time out.
Hey, buddy.
Like, come over this way
did
for a
you
minute.
forget half of our group is, like, very competitive women?
Yeah, exactly. Like, active and stuff. Yeah, man.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
But even a silly little scenario like that, they didn't take it that hard. One of them laughed it off entirely. The other lady was like, dick. But
yeah.
If it was a dating scenario, you would instantly be like, oh, that's fine. This isn't going to work.
Yeah, totally. Like, oh, all right, we're not gonna mesh. Let's enjoy this food and have some laughs and roll out. Yeah, exactly. And we go our separate ways.
Exactly.
And less pain for everybody involved. Down the road, because that's like if you're lying to each other, just one person's like living the lie and it comes out, and it usually takes a while to come out.
Oh yeah,
it's way more painful because like you put so much time and effort in the relationship that was built to fail.
Yeah.
It's like you wasted each other's time.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe sometimes it just doesn't work out. But I think if you're really honest with folks and like honest with yourself on what you want out of life and who you want to share your life with, like, man, you avoid a lot of that pain, man. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. So longest way around the barn. So more services, especially from my own experience, younger guys, about silly little stuff like this.
Yeah, right.
Talking to people in general, the opposite sex,
communication.
who you're interested in.
Yeah, how to communicate.
Communication and why that's so important.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Like, even a broad spectrum, like communication, like, how do you talk to your boss? How do you receive,
Truly.
how do you receive like a command or a task from your boss? And how do you, let them know that you did it and did it the best you can, or that you're confused, like without being like, I don't know how to do this and just throwing your hair, or just being like, yeah, I guess I'm dumb. I can't figure this out. And be like, no, I mean, I thought I understood what you're saying. This is what I was thinking. And you're not thinking that, like in a better way, just to like relay that you're confused, you're frustrated or whatever. And then becoming a leader, you'll have better communication to
absolutely,
delegate your plan with folks, and get better results that way too. 'Cause you're more concise and clear, and having that clear leadership plan is easy to follow.
What would have really helped me when I was younger in that same scenario? How to ask for help.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, especially as a guy, sometimes you don't want to ask for help. You're like, I can figure this out. And everybody, I guess, you get a little chip on your shoulder. You're like, I don't want to look stupid.
Yeah. And some places are really bad about cultivating an environment that makes you look stupid. If you have the gall to be like,
Yeah.
what? I'm sorry, I did not understand what you wanted, or I don't know how to do this. Whatever, that application may be.
Yeah, absolutely. You haven't like say you got a new radio, like the newest version of this thing, and you're like, I don't know what any of these buttons are. I've never looked at one, so I don't know what it looks like. But like for me, from the old radio to this radio, I'll be like, I have no idea how to hand jam in, a frequency.
Yeah.
Because I'd never messed with it, and then all of a sudden I find out so I was like, so you see old way, and put a knife in the side, clone the thing.
That thing they tell you not to do.
Yeah, I think
jam a piece of metal in there.
Yeah, you make that connection with your knife, and then you're good to go.
And it probably won't blow up in your hands.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's like 2 of the 3 is good, right? So it's like if you hit the 2, it'll work, but you hit the 1, you'll ruin the radio. So it's a gamble, but odds are on your side. I think you always go center and you're fine.
Probably be fine.
Yeah, I think as long as you hit that center pin, I think you're fine. That's what I kept to. But I think it's like 2 to me, you're good. 2 away, you're not good.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Every time, yeah. The odds are good, man. So you just have a good knife and confidence. You go with confidence.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
But instead of getting a hold of this thing and actually being all like, oh, I can just hit a whatever, go in the frequencies and just like punch in a frequency or even adjust one. Like the problem with the old one, man, you mess it up and you got to go all the way back and repunching the freak.
I'll be honest, I have no shame when it comes to these radios, especially like the one we got over here that's been chirping.
Yeah, I thought I was hearing that. Why is it chirping?
Say again?
What? I thought I was hearing a chirp. What's going on there?
Yeah, probably just a hot mic, honestly. But
I heard like a beep though, like a dying battery beep. I kept thinking it was my stuff.
Oh, weird. No, I must have missed that. But
oh yeah,
I screwed up my connection at some point somehow, and it was like 2 weeks after we started. And it was like, what the hell? Like this thing was fine. I've been checking in daily. Why can't anyone hear me now? And Ellie's like, well, I'm going to schedule you an appointment with one of the radio techs. I was like, great, go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's their job, man. They'll help me.
Yeah,
they know what's going on.
Bringing the pros.
Yeah, truly. Like I can fiddle with the manual all day, and I'll probably like learn a bunch of stuff, which is cool. But yeah, I'm happy to talk to one of the techs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they're both awesome, man.
Oh yeah, and just so fast. They had my issue solved, and I was like, thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
it's been 2 days of me tinkering around with it.
Yeah, those smart fellas, and like Josh Hyland, like the main guy, like dude. If I got like a weird oddball question, and it's just like if I'm running through his office anyways, I'll just be like, hey, what do you think about this? And be like, oh, I should look at that. Like he's so well researched and stuff. Yeah. And then like I think behind his desk for the sake of the story, he's behind his desk. There's a picture of him and his wife and Obama in the Oval Office.
What?
I'm like,
what?
He's like, oh yeah, actually, like he did something in the military where he was doing the radio and networking stuff for the Oval Office. I was like, whoa.
He should have just been like, no, we hang out.
Yeah, exactly. Went to high school with him. And I would have believed him. I'm like, well, yeah, he must have.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. How often do you guys hang out there?
Once a month.
Yeah, exactly. we had Sunday dinners, last Sunday in every month.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's like just an example. The reason I was throwing it out there partly was because like it's an example of how interesting people in the Forest Service can be. Like, like random radio shop on the Bitterroot National Forest, and picture the president, with the radio guy with the president. I'm like, how does this happen?
I know. I love hearing people's stories. Just even where people are from is so fascinating to me because they flock from all over. Just the way our weird recruiting crappy website is set up.
Yeah.
I mean, talking to the botanists, super fun. Emma's from Tennessee and got a job up here, and Ashlyn is from freaking Jersey.
Oh, really?
I was like, what? What brought you guys here? That's so cool. Yeah, and they got to share their stories with me, and I was like...
And they didn't know each other before they came up?
I don't think so.
Man, that's cool. And they're hanging out and going on adventures.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love seeing that, dude. Like these friendships that get built. And I guess to kind of explain like why you're hanging with them is they came up from the Northern Lights, right?
Yeah. Oh, God, that was cool.
Aurora Borealis. So you guys got to see it pretty good, hey?
I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were as much as me, but anytime I see any of the Northern Lights, I'm like, yeah. Like I'll stay up until 4 a.m. for it, just for like the little bit that we saw.
Yeah.
But like vertical beams starting on the eastern side of the horizon and slowly moving west with like horizontal bands through it and different colors.
Yeah.
Throughout like these light to deep greens, reds. I don't know. To me, I was like transfixed. I could not look away.
Yeah, same.
I had a fantastic time.
Yeah. I can't remember. Was that a pretty cold night? I remember there's something like reason why I didn't really want to be outside, but like I just like stayed.
It was windy, yeah,
and it was the wind.
It chilled pretty good because of the wind. I was in like long pants and like a hoodie in the Carhartt.
Yeah, that's how it was too.
In July.
Yeah, I know, and my sandals. Like I probably should have put some my muck boots on, but
Dude, right? What is it like? It's just cold enough that you have to wear 2 jackets, but everyone's like, I'll just wear flip flops.
yeah,
It's fine.
put my rainbows on and go.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm guilty of that today all day long.
I've been so jealous of staring at your feet because I think that's also kind of part of the fire culture too. Is you're stuck in an enclosed, toed shoes, like whether PTing or hiking in a boot.
Yeah.
That you just want to have some freedom on your feet,
Yeah, absolutely.
Let your dogs breathe,
For sure. Especially after my little jaunt yesterday.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one, man.
Oh, God, it's ugly, but
Yeah.
it'll be fine. I wanted to go further, so I think what would be super fun. You know where Brigand is? Brigand Brewing.
Oh yeah.
So it used to be Bandit Brewing down in Darby.
That's why it throws me off because I'm used to the old name.
Got an old cease and desist, which sucks.
Sounds
But
good. Yeah.
they are Brigand Brewing now, which is appropriate. Mountain Bandit, Brigand.
Yeah.
But they're just down on the river, and I mean, I was halfway there.
Oh really?
I think it would be super fun to grab a group of folks who wanted to, like, stage a car or get picked up down there, hike from here starting 8 a.m. and get there, have a burger, whatever. Once we get there, drop after hiking that far. But
yeah,
God, that would be fun.
I like that, man. I really like adventure that ends somewhere with food.
Exactly. Yeah, you do all this hiking, see all these beautiful sights, and then by the end of it, you stop at a brewery right on the riverside. You can eat a burger and then take a nap right by the river. It's likely what I would do.
Yeah, totally. Get your feet wet a little bit too, and then lay down. Yeah, that'd be nice. Kick the boots off.
Yeah, I mean, you could even make it a 2-day affair if you wanted to crash somewhere over there on Elk Point.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I had considered that, but the weather got super crappy.
Yeah. That was the last night you were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that'd be kind of cool. Can you see Elk Point? Is that what's right behind you there?
Yeah.
Oh, the highest one.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, it's funny because it's right there, but then there's the big canyon in between us.
Yeah. It's like, that doesn't look, and then you look down and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, and especially me driving up fresh, I was like, because like at first glance, I was like, oh yeah, nice, man. Like that's not too far. And then like taking a bigger look at it and like using my memory on the drive up, I was like, oh yeah, that's a bit of a cruise because you got to go pretty far down before you can go back up again.
Mm-hmm. But it's a good walk.
Yeah, it looks beautiful too, man. I mean,
Well,
yeah, for folks who didn't catch the first podcast, so this is technically part 2, but we're just missing Tyrell. We're in the Sapphire Range, correct? Right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're in the Sapphires right now, and Sula Peak Lookout. And then you got the Bitterroot Mountain Range behind us, so you can see. Hopefully, you can see in the GoPro pretty good. And then, I mean, I can't really point to, but you could probably where Medicine Point Lookout is like.
it's the tallest of the hills over here, and then this runs down into Shook Mountain just behind us. And what we're looking at is the west side of our district. So this is pretty much the furthest west of the Darby-Sula district.
Yeah.
And then to the south of us is 93. That goes on down to Wisdom and Idaho. And then behind the camera is the valley that rolls out to the east fork of the Bitterroot Forest.
Yeah.
The Bitterroot River. But
yeah, and ties into Phillipsburg and the Bee-Bardee.
yeah.
Right? You go straight
Yep.
that way. Yeah. So
And,
a little bit of orientation for folks who are curious and hopefully can see all this,
Yeah. And I don't know, the video you took earlier, you had a pretty good spin around, so you might be able to identify some of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I put on the socials. I think I put that up already. But
So damn, that was fast.
yeah, I was just kind of uploading as I was coming up, because
Nice.
I think I'm trying to get folks so they're kind of get more in the experience, which I probably should do when I release the podcast too, is show the coming up and then
I was just thinking that.
yeah, then recording and then maybe on the way down, because the last time I was up here, you and Tyrell were kicking it that night, but and we did some stargazing before I left.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was super clear.
Man, it was an amazing night, and then I took a bunch of awesome photos of the lookout lit up just on top of the hill here, and
Yeah.
just man, super cool stuff, and try to share more of that with folks who don't get the opportunity. Even if you live in Montana, you might live in an area where there's not lookouts, like the Bee-Bardee,
Great Falls.
Great Falls, yeah, out there in the plains area,
Big
too.
old West Dakota.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, because I got to Billings Country and stuff, man.
Mhm.
Maybe in the Granite Range or whatever, Beartooth, maybe there's some lookouts, but I don't even know if there is. And if they are, they probably aren't staffed. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but I was very fortunate. I got to do the same thing. I had some family visit this year,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, night hike, Jim Hill Rock. And I'm like, sure. Everybody grabbed a beer and just walked down to Jim Hill Rock and leave the lights on and look back.
Oh,
So cool to see the dark hill, the lookout lit up on top of it.
yeah, that's amazing, man. This thing lights up really nice at night. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fortunate for that.
Yeah, Jim Hill Rock's right on the ridge here, right?
Yeah, it's just this first knob.
Oh, the one you can see from here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. And that's one of the deceiving one too, right? Like it looks like it's right there, but it's a bit of a cruise.
Well, it's funny because you don't think it's that steep or that deep going down that saddle, and then on the way back you're like sweaty and out of breath, and you're like,
looking up, right?
Yeah. I didn't think I went this far.
Yeah, why am I breathing so heavy?
I know I had this group of folks up, it has to be a month and a half ago now, and they were great. They were super nice. They wanted to eat lunch up here, and they did. They shared their food with me, and after a while, a bunch of the kids, I think they were a church group, so there was a lot of them.
Yeah.
But after a while, the kids got pretty, like, exploratory.
Yeah.
And go running down that saddle and up Jim Hill Rock, and I just saw some of the parents like,
oh, no. Yeah.
It's like, it's going to be a bit of a hike. You're going to get your polo shirt sweaty.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a mess after that one.
Yeah, and it's pretty warm out, and this poor dude in, like, dress shoes and dress pants and, a collared shirt, and he's just carrying his daughter, like, step after agonizing step on the way back.
Oh, man.
You guys want some water?
Yeah, you guys thirsty? Oh, man, good on him for going on the retrieval, but yeah, that's I can feel his pain.
Oh, those poor guys.
Yeah. Jim Hill Rock, where's the name come from? Do you know?
Truly, I don't.
Me either, dude.
Yeah, I need to know, like, more about the history of this valley.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I've got the Lookout from the 2000 fire, stuff like that, but
yeah, because even just like this spot in particular, like when I was working on Sula, it's like you have French Basin, Ross Hole, Jim Hill Rock, and it's all on the map. So I'm like, why is there so many names in one little area? You know?
Oh my gosh! And you start looking at all the draws and the streams, and
yeah,
it's overwhelming.
It is, man. Like, people like reference stuff. Like when I was giving a tour, like, oh, you should go up here and maybe check out this. I'm like,
Grizzly Bear Saddle, right? And you're like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll check that out. I saw like a funny thing on Instagram where it was like this guy talking about like non-local hikers versus local hikers, and it's like, did you see that one?
No, but it sounds hilarious.
Oh, it's awesome.
Just living here.
Yeah, it's like I went to Bass Creek Trailhead, then I took Sheep Rock Ridge, and then I went over to like Moose Mountain and came down Beaver Trail, and then like it was just, he's like all the names and like went for about whatever miles, and like had all the description, which is really accurate for people who like come out here and hike on the same trails, because I'll be like, where's that? It's like lived here for a really long time, and I'm like, and they're like, oh, it was like going up the same area. So I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
But like when you're local, you just gotta use more broad, terms. And that's what it was. This one guy's like, yeah, I went for a hike today. And that was like the local, and that was it. Like
that's so much more me too. Where people are like, oh, cool, where'd you hike? I was like, to the Sula store and back.
Yeah.
And they're like, what, is that a trail? I'm like, no.
No, yeah, exactly.
I know the store is that way, and I just went down the hill, and then I came back up the hill.
Dude,
yeah.
That's brutal.
That can be. So it's that first pull out of the valley, off the valley floor, that sucks.
Yeah,
but once you get on the ridge line headed back this way, it just kind of rolls, and it's not too bad. But
oh, good. Yeah, dude, that's what I was thinking. I've driven by it. I've never hiked it, but like from the road, you can see it's like up.
Yeah, it is. It's rough. I would say it's the steepest and the roughest coming off 93, like right at the campground.
Oh, really?
Because that's where the crew will hike it.
Oh, yeah.
So our local fire crew will come up here and hike this for PT, because it's a solid 2 miles up, 2.5.
Yeah, it's not friendly.
And it's not friendly or forgiving. Like, it's hot. There's not a lot of tree coverage. It's very steep.
Yeah.
And it's that deceptive, like, weird Montana steep where people are like, oh, this is great. And then they fall.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, are you okay?
Yeah, that slippery grass, too.
Yeah. And so they'll hike up this side. And I've done that with the crew a few times. And even this year, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I called Borden.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, next time you guys are coming, let me know. Like, 1, I'll be fully dressed, which I would appreciate the heads up.
Yeah, exactly.
2, I will hike with you guys. Like, I'll put on boots and everything and be ready to go. Once you guys get to the top, you take a breather, and then I'll go down and come back up.
Yeah.
It's before radio check-in, so that's perfect.
Oh, perfect.
Like, really? Yeah, let's go.
That's cool.
So it was pretty fun.
Where do you pop out at? Just right over here?
Yeah, they pop out right on the curve in the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dang, cool. Yeah, because like I remember thinking about it, and then like my experience kind of kicked my experience out of my brain, because initially like you can see almost all the way up from the road. You're like, that's not that far, But then I was like, I've driven up there. That's farther back than it looks. There's a little bit of a false summit there too.
Oh yeah, that's brutal. It's funny. I was just on the phone with Tyrell yesterday as I was getting back here. He had called me, and I was hiking up this far side instead, right from Elk Point. It got me again, and I live here. Yeah. And what I thought was the last little pole up the ridge. As we were talking, like, yeah, man, I'm just getting home and I can't wait to. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and shower and go right to sleep. I'm exhausted from work. And I was like, I'm about to do the same thing. And I look up. There's another big hill in front of me. I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh, just heartbreaking, soul crushing.
Yeah, I was like, one more Rymel.
Yeah, one more Rymel. Oh man.
Another fantastic hiking hill.
Yeah, just the south of us here, just
Yeah.
that away.
That's the big PT hill for the fire crew because it's a solid. I mean, if you're really getting after it with a saw on your back, it's still 13 minutes probably.
Yeah, and it's all uphill on that one too. And
another deceptively steep one where it doesn't look so bad from the road, from the highway, from up in the sky. But then when you're on it, it's like, oh my god, it's like climbing up a ladder.
Yeah, dude, and it's right there on the station, so it's so convenient. Yeah.
To torture all the rookies with.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's just right there. Like,
yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that was brutal, man. That's like kind of the stuff we did in rookie training too for smoke jumping. That luckily I'd kind of put myself through that a little bit and had a little bit of mental,
Resilience.
mental resiliency, but like mental resiliency coaching by my friend Bronson, who was also going through rookie training out of McCall at the time. But he gave me little nuggets of like experiences that he'd gone through in the military, where like he'd gotten teased where they were going to end a PT hike or a PT run. And it just was never ending, and you just had to like get in that mode that like, yeah, I'll do this all day and whatever, it ends when it ends. And so I get that kind of mantra going. And then my other friend Deshaun, who was in the military, kind of the same. He had like trained with me a little bit, and he's like, too easy, you know, you can do this all day, too easy.
And that's the big one.
Yeah. And that's so I kept hammering those mantras. And it's weird. Like a lot of people maybe think that's like woo woo hippie stuff, like having a mantra, but dude, it pays off,
it's
man.
Surprisingly useful when you're in those. I don't know if high stress is the right way to phrase it, but
stress, because you like stress is in like physical stress and mental stress, you know.
Yeah, maybe a distressed physical state is a good way to put it.
A lot of exertion.
Yeah, absolutely. And your mind is like kind of powerful in those situations.
Yeah.
Where if you can focus on something that's not just putting one foot in front of the other on this god awful hike, you'll probably be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you let your brain maybe wander a little bit, or just like focus on like, I can do this all day, man. It's really not that bad.
You'll be up a blister or two, but you'll make it up the hill, as opposed to the guy who can't stop thinking about his feet.
Well, yeah, and think about the heat and how far he's gone and like how much more. Like I think that's what gets people a lot of times in rookie training. Like sometimes the most physically fit folks, man, can just like wash, and you're like, wait, you like crushed day one, but then that's a day one that keeps going, you know. Like it just doesn't stop until you're done with rookie training. So it's like I think that gets people, especially the weekend's almost worse because you get this break, right? You get these 2 days.
So sore, so tired.
So
oh my
sore
god,
and tired, and then it's like, oh man, I got to next week starts again. Same thing, you know.
I was talking with some of the rookies down in Sula when I was a rookie down there, and our PT was brutal that year. You met Scott, right? Scott Bogan.
Oh yeah.
So he was our foreman.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing no shit. So every day it was a big hike. Every day was a 6 mile run. Every day was a ridiculous, circuit workout where you're just gonna work you half to death. I mean, we were doing this fuck shit where we would hike Rymel and everyone would take a saw, and then we got down and we had to pull our packs off and hold them and do like 100 squats, and then we had to like some other, it was just never ending shit like that.
Yeah.
And we were talking about making these shirts that said Sula on the front of them, and then on the back it said "Everything hurts and I'm dying." So we were constantly joking about that.
Yes, everything hurts.
Yeah, to this day, it's like, I need to make like 10 of those and send them to everyone who was a rookie at the same time as me.
Oh,
get a kick out of that shit.
Oh man, that's super cool. I got a few of those like ideas, like just like T-shirts I've been like wanting to do and just haven't had a chance to present them yet. Like some stuff that happened during my rookie year that, at NCSB that I want to get some T-shirts about it. And then my Engine Boss experience too. Like that was pretty cool. Like in Whitehall, and just experiences out in Eastern Montana with a really good group, of folks.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I don't want to give those out, the T-shirt ideas out yet until like I make them reality. Cause I kind of want to surprise the folks with them, but. Yeah, like folks who were listening to this that were on that trip will kind of know what I'm talking about, and I kind of want, hopefully they're not listening because I want to surprise them with it. And I'm hoping to have them on the podcast all together so we can
drop the dime, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you teased it out of me though. I was like,
sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, going down memory lane. I was like, yeah, man, I got a great T-shirt thing too, but I'm not going to talk about it. I just have a T-shirt idea.
And then this purse just upside down.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
sorry about that.
Shook it out of me. But yeah, I made a couple T-shirts in my day, and like one of them's all right, and the other one I thought was kind of cool, and I had like group effort out in Pocatello, and it was for the Pocatello spike jump base. And so like it's, with especially the jump world, it's, a lot of t-shirts are pretty involved in the community. Like if you jump a area, like especially like if you're from West Yellowstone and you jump, you have to go do like a boost to McCall and then jump a fire out of McCall, and then you earn their gear. You get a t-shirt,
that's cool,
right?
man. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of a big deal, man. Like, and then you get to wear those t-shirts around your base and kind of like show that you got out and got to see some cool country. So like we're in Pocatello and there's no t-shirt at that spike base. I was like, and we had a down day. Like we jumped right away, like right when we got there, and then I had like a down day and just kind of recovering, and like, man, it'd be kind of cool to have a t-shirt that represents my time here. So started working one, and it was August, so we were doing a Dirty August t-shirt, like August now, and so I came up with the idea to do a Joe Dirt t-shirt. So so like we had Joe Dirt on the back, and then like he was introduced himself like as Deerte.
Yep.
In the one scene, like churching it up.
Don't spruce it up, Dirt.
Yeah, exactly, man. And so I
whatever he says.
I think it's don't spruce it up or don't church it up or something like that. And so like we had a Deerte August with Joe Dirt on the back, and then
oh my gosh,
the suit up room, like where we kept all our jump stuff, like jumpsuit and pack out bag, and it, in our line gear or whatever, it was like just in your corner, piled in the corner.
Sure.
And it was an Connex box kind of thing, like a shitty trailer thing. Yeah, so hot as hell and full of bees.
Yeah. Oh, even better.
Yeah, dude. So it's like full of bees. The roof is like falling in on us. I get this awesome picture of my buddy Newell just like looking up at like the ceiling.
And it's 130 degrees.
Oh yeah, just hot as hell. So like I took a picture of that just crappy Connex box thing, and we put wings on it, and for the front of the picture, for the front of the t-shirt, on the back had Joe Dirt.
Nice.
Turned out pretty cool.
See, that's awesome. That's a whole story in a t-shirt that all the folks get to keep.
Yeah, man. I think it's still going on. Hopefully down there in Boise, because it's for the BLM is what the spike base is for, and the BLM already, it's a pretty cool t-shirt. So but like you said, like and I blew out a few of those t-shirts because it's been forever since I jumped, and
right.
And now I want to go back and visit those places, and it gives me a reason to go down and like get some new swag, and
there you go.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever do stupid flips?
All the time.
Most notable?
The one that like applied to me, because there was like tattoo flips and ice cream flips.
Okay.
So that was cool. Like at West Yellowstone, like in the summer. It doesn't like happen all summer, I don't think, but like maybe when fire season are going and like you kind of need a little more of a sweet treat, they'll blare the like ice cream truck song over the like speakers, and so you'd be out in the saw shop and you hear like the jingle of the ice cream song, and everyone comes in. There's a special quarter, so the quarter comes in the game, and then everyone flips, and then if you win, lose but win, you pay for everyone's ice cream.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a nice break in the
afternoon. Lighthearted.
Yeah, and then. Yeah, some bad ones, dude. The one I lost that I was like not too stoked on, because I didn't want to take it. I was really tired. I didn't want to take a part of it. It was in Alaska. It was in McGrath at the spike base in McGrath.
It was in Alaska.
Yeah, and like
got to do something to keep that morale high.
Oh yeah, we just flew, and I don't know if anyone jumped. One of my friends got sick, and it was just hot flight, and like I was trying to take my stuff off behind the shade and behind the shed and in the shade and like hang it up so it'd cool off, and I hear someone like, and it's usually when you're getting skunked, you want to do like a sacrifice for Big Ernie, right? Like so.
Yeah, exactly.
We'd been there for a few weeks. We got socked in with smoke. Yeah, man. So like, we got socked in with smoke for like a week and a half or longer. Like no one could come in, no one could leave. Half the panel shot crew had flown in, and their soup, Chris Smith, was there with some folks, and I got to talk to him a little bit, and like got to know him a little bit more, and really liked him, man. Got along with him great, and teased him a little because I knew he like wasn't the biggest fan of jumpers, so like so
those dirty fucking jumpers.
Yeah, man. So like I was like teasing him a little bit. He had a great sense of humor, man, and like so we were going back and forth for a minute there, and then one of my friends was there too, who was on the shot crew at the time, and he got stranded with the soup, which is probably not your favorite place to be, like when the other half of the crew is back in Fairbanks or whatever. Yeah, dude, having a little better time maybe. But so then we flew a few and just getting skunked, not getting any jumps. We're getting kegged up there in McGrath, like with jumpers. Some people are timing out and having to go back, and yeah, so
that sucks.
Yeah, without getting a jump, and I don't think I had Alaska jump yet, so I was like, man. So like it was time for a sacrifice, but I did not want to be involved, and I but it's all or nothing, you know.
Yeah,
like,
and
all
that
for
was the one.
one for all, yeah.
And you were the
so
one.
I
that
won.
time.
Yeah, I won. Well, my other buddy won it, and then so like we ended up having to. I think we like because I was avoiding it, it ended up just being like me versus him, and I beat him. You know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it was right around dinner. It's hard to say because the damn sun's out all the time, so I think it was dinner. And
you thought it was dinner, but it was 11:45 at night.
that's what I was like thinking. I was like, so we all go to and the food's amazing there
That's
at
good.
McGrath. Yeah, like they bring in some local folks and
hell yeah.
run the kitchen there at the airport, and so we go in, and I'm just wearing, and the winning prize was you get to wear your jumpsuit for the rest of the day or until there's a fire, which actually was a little better plan because there's also a little bridge, and the next step up for the stupid flip is you get to be a troll under the bridge. So
That's brilliant.
yeah, so I'm lucky. I'll take the jumpsuit, and so like I guess I had a little bit of time to marinate my jumpsuit before we went to dinner. I think it was. So I was just like, and you don't want to go inside because it's so bulky. So I didn't go inside like the little bro shack, and everyone else was like hanging out inside and like cooler air and comfy couch. So I was out on this, but it was also kind of a badass hammock. So I'm just like lounging in this hammock and
Solid.
Yeah, not moving much, like that kid off of the Christmas Story, you know, like
Laying in the snow.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you can't move. You get the strap that's just above your knees, so you don't hurt your goods on a jump. And so, anyways, I waddled myself to the food hall, you know, like and get some food, and right as we're eating, I get the fire call, and ends up being the one. I get a jump, and
solid.
Yeah, so it worked out. But I was like,
sacrifice was worth it.
And that actually sacrifice was really worth it because I got to jump with one of my really good buddies from Whitehall High School.
Oh, cool.
And he jumped out of McCall at the time.
Ah, that's badass.
Yeah, so I was a Missoula jumper at the time. He was a McCall jumper, and there's really no reason that we'd ever be jump partners, like out in like the lower 48. Like it'd be really hard, and somehow, and even one in Alaska is even harder because it's bigger, you know. So
yeah, right.
Somehow we end up at the same spike base and load together, and like we didn't mess with it. It's just like how it rolled out because there's no reason to mess with it. Like
right,
and no one wants to go out of order, you know. Like
it's just the luck of the draw.
Yeah,
and you guys got it. That's so cool.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we were JPs, jump partners, and so it worked out. Do you have a winning story of a flip?
It was an almost stupid flip, and I didn't win, but we did the flip, and then I think Scott Bogan got word of it, and he was like, "Fucking stop."
Oh, really?
So we didn't go.
It's like we're not having this.
Yeah, but we were. I think this might have been my first assignment ever as a rookie, and one of the guys had smashed a toe.
Oh.
Like real bad a couple weeks before, to the point where it busted his nail and it was just kind of like rotten on his foot, and it finally fell off. 'Cause, I mean, you're hiking nonstop. It was a observation point, so we were all over the place that fire.
Oh, whoa! Like way out there in the West Fork observation point.
No, it's up further north.
Oh, there's two observation. Wow, man, that's the confusing thing about the outdoors. I would just say the outdoors. Like there's so many. There's a million fish creeks and beaver creeks and stuff, you know, and two observation points on one forest too. Like I didn't know that.
We're not known for being creative out here.
Our variety, I guess, you know. So where's this observation point at?
It's a little further north of Darby, actually.
Oh,
it's
really?
between Darby and Hamilton. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
check a map.
It's like 1,000-something acres, which I mean it was a decent sized fire for the time of the season.
Yeah.
But hiking around like crazy, tying into the shots because our assistant was detailed.
Oh really?
Yeah. So he was detailed from the shots.
Oh. And you got smashed toe dude hanging around with you too?
Yeah. So yeah, we got tons of characters. Yeah. But this kid had smashed his foot or whatever, and his nail was just barely hanging on, and like a week and a half later it had come off. And he kept the stupid thing for some reason, his little toenail.
Oh, doesn't make sense. Why would you?
And we were well over 3/4 of the way through a stupid flip to see who would eat it. And it was going to be bad.
Oof.
Yeah, it was disgusting. And honestly, we're probably, whoever was in the game still, I don't even remember who, is lucky that Bogan showed up when he did. He's like, fucking stop.
Man.
Put your shit, like, get your shit together and get in the trucks. It's like, yeah, good call.
Yeah, dude, oh, man. There's no way, man. I would not do that. Because, you know, like, there's ways that you can get out of stuff. Like, I guess I forgot about this one. There was one that I won also, and it was I can't remember how exactly it was phrased, but it's where the nastiest underwear you had in your pack. And, like, so if you've been rocking a pair for, like, a week, and So like,
It just sounds like instant chafe to me.
yeah, but you had to wear it on your head or something weird.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want my nasty underwear and like smelling it. So like, you did that or like 1,000 push-ups or something. And I was like, I will
just do
take the
1,000.
push-ups. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
like,
gonna be an hour of your time. But
exactly. Yeah, I'll take that. You know, so
Yeah.
I did that, and then like just it. But the kind of funny stuff comes out with this, right? Like not doing the stupid flip, like or not. I want it, but I'm not gonna do it. So the options are: I have a buddy. Or no, I have to have a buddy. So it doesn't matter who it is on the crew because you never know who you might get split off with. So like 20-person throw together crew from the BRD, and it was a fun crew, a lot of great people on it. And so I had a marker. They gave me a marker, I think is what it was. And so they had to tally it. Like, so for all my push-ups, I had like tallies. So like my whole arm was full of tallies and then going up my left arm for people keeping track. So like I had a spotter or a buddy that would like count my push-ups and then check them off, and I was doing like 20 at a time, but for some reason they wanted the rule was to tally it. So like,
yeah, you'd be
five.
You'd be hilariously like marked up.
Yeah, so like dinner that night was kind of interesting. People were like, what's happening? Because I don't think I was allowed to wash it off until after dinner or something like that. So
you get the weird looks.
Yeah, like pen fight. I lost real bad.
Real bad.
Yeah,
they ganged up on me. What?
Yeah, the whole crew versus me. Yeah.
Oh my god, I think I was in Utah for a fire, and I got put on a lookout duty for the day. So I hiked up the opposite ridge, and I was looking back at our crew, and I mean, there was not a damn thing going on with that incident anymore. It was pretty cold. Yeah. So my day was just hanging out in the wind.
Yeah,
and
been there.
The problem is the ridgeline I was on, the half to my north was not burned, so it was fine. But it was mostly rocky, so it wasn't a big deal. The half to my south was just nuked. Ooh. So if the wind picked up, it was just nothing but dirt and ash.
Yeah.
So by the end of the day, I was just like covered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get back to camp, and I was like using wet wipes and like washing off my face and stuff like that. But I could not get the crap like off of my eyes very well. Mm-hmm. So it looked like
eyeliner.
yeah. Like I had the firefighter eyeliner going on.
Just emo.
Yeah. And one of the dudes turned around in the chow line, and he just it's like, "What, Kyle?" And he's like, "You look like you're wearing eyeliner." Turn right back around. I was like, fuck, and I like pick up dirt out of the rodeo ground.
Yeah, mix it up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like no wonder people been looking at me weird.
Yeah, man. God, I think everybody who's done lookout duty on a big fire has had that experience. And you're like, sometimes in like the Southwest, all you have is like some little bush, sagebrush thing, and in between your obs, you're just like curling underneath the thing, trying to get some shade. Yeah, but you're also getting just sandblasted all day.
Dude, mine was a cliff of like an incline too. It was so steep by the time I ended where I did.
Couldn't even really get comfortable or anything. And
not really. Having a poop on the side of that hill, at 2 p.m. or whatever, when it's hot as hell. That was an ordeal. That was pretty hilarious to me.
Yeah, similar.
Like, how am I gonna do this without like falling down?
Oh yeah, dude. I had similar experience, and like I thought I was on the back side of this ridge, and the whole thing had got like nuked off, and there wasn't anywhere to hide. So I just like hiked down the other side of the down the ridge, and then on the other side, like trying to get away from people and away from the fire line. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, the IC decided he was going to do a flight about that time. So I get the helicopter pilot, while I'm doing the business, I usually
look out our left window.
Yeah. You have a smoke jumper, bare bottom.
Yeah.
Because like I like to get real comfortable, so I take off my shirt and helmet and
love that, dude.
Man, yeah, like I
just nothing but boots.
Nothing, but yeah, pretty much, man. Like and yeah,
good for you, dude.
Yeah, I don't have any accidents and just real comfortable out there.
And as you should be.
Yeah,
it's your God-given right.
Right, yeah, just me and God out there is what I thought, and then
what I thought, yeah.
Type 2 helicopter comes buzzing around the corner. Or jet, maybe it's Type 1 or Type 3, I guess. Like a Jet Ranger or something.
Way too low to the ground.
Yeah. No, it was a Type 2. Yeah, it was definitely Type 2. So. Bell, whatever, 204 or something like that. So,
nice.
like way too low, like.
Yeah, and very obvious.
Yeah, very obvious. Yeah, my butt does not see the sun, so my white ass cheeks were just like out there for display. And I just gave him a thumbs up.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
I've got a kind of funny story, like, lookout wise.
Real quick, let me explain the stupid flip. We didn't really explain it, right?
Oh no. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
you might have listeners who are not familiar with
wildland fire shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigan of a stupid flip. I'll let you explain.
No, go ahead, man. You got a great voice for it.
Stand down and listen up for your 5 p.m. weather.
Perfect.
So a stupid flip is something that is used to boost morale on fire crews, especially after you've been on a particularly difficult or long or straight boring assignment where you haven't had a damn thing happening.
Morale is really falling.
Yeah, and there's a variety of ways that happens.
Yep.
So to keep people from being sulky and whiny, you will do something called a stupid flip, where usually your entire crew, whether it's your mod of 5 or your 20-man, will stand in a circle and everyone flips a coin.
Typically a quarter.
And if you flip head, well, it depends on whoever is coming up with the rules. But if in our case, if you flip heads, you're still in the circle. If you flip tails, you're out.
Yep.
And whoever wins by staying in the circle long enough, you're doing whatever deed has been put forth, predetermined by this group of sadists.
Exactly. That's the best way to put it.
There have been I've seen videos of some pretty nasty stuff that gets put up on the stupid flip.
Yeah.
Like my story earlier with the toenail one was pretty gross. It's for the best that Scott stopped us.
Yeah, some people save some things.
Yeah, probably some thrown up.
Yeah. Common one is the full PPE dinner.
Yep. I've seen one where a poor girl had to put on a full face of makeup. That's pretty common.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Hotshot crews where a lady will have to put on a full face of makeup, and if anyone tells her to touch up or anything like that, she has to apply more no matter how much she's wearing.
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's some of my friends.
Fucking brutal.
It is fucking brutal. Then there's like a thong one too. Like,
there's a thong one where you have to wear a thong like the entire roll.
Yeah, the entire 14-day, I think, or however long, I guess.
Yeah. God, that would get probably pretty uncomfortable.
Good. Yeah, I've seen some funny pull-up photos of like someone with their shirt off and they wearing the thong, like typically a dude. Actually, always a dude.
Always.
Yeah. Whale tailing it as they're doing their pull-ups.
I was just gonna say, that's intentional.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because I think somehow, like, I'll just say one of the jump aces, I think had like, for some reason, a jumper looking logo on a thong, and so
that's beautiful.
Yeah, so I mean, gotta cater to everybody. So
holy hell.
Yeah, so there was that, which is awesome. It really does well though. It really helps the morale a lot.
Surprisingly, yeah, because everyone's kind of like nervous, excited to see who's gonna win, lose.
Yeah,
and I mean, depending on what it is, you don't really care that much. But again, it depends.
Yeah, because some could be pretty harmless. Like we had like a mohawk flip. One fire, and then like usually like a couple other people join in. We're like, yeah, man, I'll do a mohawk with you.
Yeah, we had mohawk flips. The guy who lost he wanted a mohawk. So it was kind of win-win. Everyone got to be happy about his ridiculous haircut, and he was stoked about it.
Yeah, man. And then tattoo flips too. Like I've been around for a few of those.
I haven't been around for a tattoo flip. That'd be pretty funny. But I mean, just get drunk down at the firehouse here on the right night, and you'll get a tattoo.
There's a win there. The Mile City logo. One of the Mile City logos. It's a catfish with a Pulaski, kind of like a Patagonia logo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I really like it. A lot of people really like it, and so typically. There's some rules, like it can't just be like your normal like boosters of like the small crew. Cause you want to be able to pay for the tattoo,
right?
And so it's got to be like a.
They're not doing it themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
that's usually more what I hear.
Or no, yeah, you got it's like a buy-in for the flip. So like, I think initially like everyone throws in just be for sport of it, and some people don't even want the tattoo, but there's other people who like buy back in. And you have like an option to buy back in.
I was just gonna say, dude, that like, you guys are gonna help pay for a tattoo? Like, yeah, let's go.
Oh, exactly, dude. Like
I need to add more,
dude. I know we had. I think it was an exchange. Like we were getting some like fresh jumpers in, and then we were heading out. We were heading back to Missoula to reset, and so it was like I think it was like a 2-load minimum. I think you could do the tattoo flip in Mile City.
Cool.
So I was like pushing it hard. I was like, we got 2 loads. Let's do this. They're like, well, no, not really, And like, I can't remember why I kept getting pushed off. Then it never happened. I was like, oh man. Like, yeah, I really wanted that one. I think that logo's super cool.
Yeah. It's funny. I've met the polar opposites in fire. You got guys who are covered like head to toe in the stupidest tattoos you've ever seen, and they're just like, I really like them. More power to you, dude.
Yeah.
Tyrell, Never had one. Will not get
Oh, really?
get any. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I've asked him about it. It's like, damn, like you're really breaking military stereotype here.
That's what I was
Like,
thinking too. Yeah, dude.
no tattoos. You don't even have like a big "I'm a corpsman, I saved the world" like on your chest or back or something like that.
Yeah, like, I mean, how else are people gonna know? You know?
Yeah, dude, no one's gonna know you're a hero.
Exactly, unless you tell them.
Who's gonna thank you for your service?
Exactly. I had a similar experience when I was a smoke jumper. You know.
So but no, he's like, no, I don't want one. I have nothing that I care about that much that I want. He's like, you know what? Well, that's fair.
Yeah, respect.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I've got like my next 4 planned.
I know, man. Like if I would have had more money, I would have had two sleeves as a rookie after I made it through rookie training.
Oh yeah.
So that was my vision, man. I always wanted sleeves, and like I had the ideas all in my head of what I was gonna do, and like one of them was like, you know, part of my Native American heritage and my Irish heritage, and I was gonna have.
Wow, you got some.
I should be I should be an alcoholic, really. Just jokes, but kind of.
It's fucked up, Luke.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Apologies to both of my to all my ancestors, but
I'm glad you're not.
I know. Yeah, it worked out all right, man. I got some staying power. I'm just gonna ruin your lookout here.
Dish rack is old, man. You're fine.
Yeah. Probably seen some miles, but yeah. So like I was gonna get some like symbols that mean something to me, like almost like a general. Add something to my life that's like important, you know, like whatever's like adventure, you know, like even if it's basic, you know,
I'm
like,
about to explode to say a beer bottle.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, so exactly like whiskey or fire water or whatever, you know, like.
Sorry.
My apologies.
I can appreciate your look at heritage and like what you could get to represent that.
Yeah, like where it came from. So it was like, you know, something like. I don't like honor or adventure, family, like you know, some term that like.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor, live, laugh, love, you know, like the traditional things we're talking about, Sam.
My ex would love you.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have it on the wall, man. Every white wall I've ever seen has like live, laugh, love across it.
They're tan. I didn't pick the color.
Oh, they are tan? Yeah. Well, I guess
mean,
you get a pass on the live, laugh, love.
Look at the break between the ceiling and the walls. You'll see it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're not lying. So the ceiling is white. So you do have room for live, laugh, love. Right there.
I didn't bring the artwork though. All these nails in the wall from last year.
Oh, that's you? I was gonna say there's a lot of nails.
Yeah, that was me. I put up a shitload of paintings last year, and I forgot to bring them this year.
I didn't even notice. My bad. I'm a bad friend. I didn't look up enough, I guess. I'm looking out.
You're good. Yeah, right.
Looking out at the future. So yeah, that was what I was originally gonna do. Is like some symbols that you know mean like whatever to me, like family and stuff like that. You know, and like. I was gonna narrow it down so like it was a little more direct on like what I'm trying to achieve in life or whatever it might have been, and then like find like some kind of Celtic symbol and then some kind of Nez Perce symbol that kind of means you know similar whatever it might be, you know, and yeah, so it never came to be. Maybe someday, you know.
Plenty of time to figure it out.
Yeah, I was even gonna like. Yeah, I got some friends in Ireland and visit with them about like.
Sweet.
Yeah, and one of them he helped teach Irish studies here at UM. So my friend awesome. Nisha, shout out to Nisha Baldwin. Yeah, hold on this and that. Nisha. Went to his wedding. Awesome guy, awesome family. So yeah, I was gonna talk to Nisha about it, and you know, he's history buff to the max, man. He knows all, you know, all this and all history. Like you know, like I'm pretty sure he's pretty up on his tribal history in the States, and then stuff in the Celtic Gaelic world too, you know.
Wow, that is awesome.
Waldron, Jesus Christ, I missed his name. Sorry, Nisha Waldron. Jeez. Oh man, it's been a long day, and man, my head is ripping from all the smoke. I'm so sensitive from the old smoke right now.
That's tough because it's smoky.
It is smoky, dude. Like
elkhorn, bulls, and what's this one down in Salmon?
Yeah, there's one down by Salmon. I can't remember the name of that one. That one's the elk one, I think, right? Isn't it by Salmon?
I thought West Fork was elkhorn.
Got that. Yeah. Because there's one like right by the old moose where the moose went through last year, I think, is like right next to it. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Kind of lost track of fires this year.
Easy to do.
Yeah. It, like literally, it was like over a week. All of a sudden, everything popped up. It felt like so.
It really did.
Yeah. But yeah, and then like so, I guess finish the tattoo story with the sleeve. It was gonna be like one sleeve with that, and then I was gonna go try and time with a few of the elders from the Nez Perce tribe and explain kind of like my story and where my ancestors come and tie into the tribe and so I'd get accurate the accurate representation. Also like nothing disrespectful either. Like I had known somebody who had gotten this is hearsay, so I saw the tattoo but I had no idea, but it was like a Polynesian traditional symbol that like was kind of disrespectful toward her skin or something. It was a rumor I heard, so I don't know if that's true, but like that spooked me out on that kind of stuff. I was like, oh yeah,
No, that's fair.
Like, yeah, you don't want to throw someone else's culture on your skin that's like not supposed to be there, because of whatever belief they have, might be. So
I'm kind of glad. Like, I don't think I was very smart as a teenager, but the one good move that I can look back and be like, attaboy, Sam, is getting the first military tattoo is so big with so many people.
yeah,
And I was no exception. I met a few artists, and I had plans for what I wanted and stuff like that. And one of the guys that we were hanging out was like, "Just get a tribal, bro." It's like, to be real honest, I'm probably not going to do that.
yeah. Oof.
Like, I don't know if you know anything about me, but I'm pretty white, and that just doesn't really, like, one, it's not what I want, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And, like, two, kind of weird. Like, I know it's the style right now, but
I was just gonna say that, and that lasted for a long time. The tribal,
It did,
stuff,
yeah, it did.
And to be honest, like I thought it was super cool when they first started coming out. I didn't
I
really
think they
want
look-
one, but
they look awesome.
yeah,
Doesn't really, like, yeah,
didn't ever appeal to me. Thank God.
didn't feel like me.
Yeah, same man. Like I was like, but like some of the folks I had, especially some of the bigger folks who got like a tribal band or something. Like back when I was a young lad, I was like, that looks awesome.
One of my buddies from the Army was an Islander, and he had a fucking sick chest and half sleeve tribal. I loved it. It looked great.
Yeah, dude.
But it was very much who he was.
Yeah.
And that was the disconnect there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Like when I was going to Dillon and got to hang out with a lot of the Hawaiian folks, and
Yeah.
and they're not they're not totally Hawaiian. Like like a few of the folks were like Tongan descent or Fijian, I think, and Fijian is right. Fijian, I think. God damn, my brain is just flat tonight. I could just butchering all of my friends' stuff.
I was like, I don't know. I think you're right, but
Fiji from Fiji.
There we go.
Yeah. And so like from some of the Polynesian, like some of the other Polynesian islands, Samoa and stuff. So like they got stuff that similar to what. And I had this idea before I'd met these folks about my heritage and like symbolism on my arm, and then to see like these Polynesians that have like the like symbols from their heritage on their arm. It's like, oh, that's cool, man. Because that's kind of something similar I was gonna do. Because like Celtic knotwork can look kind of like some tribal stuff, and then some of that Nez Perce symbols could be kind of similar, where I can kind of tie them in together.
Dude, it's fascinating how similar those types of artwork can be.
Yeah, because if you look at like some tight Celtic knots, it can look something like some Polynesian stuff.
It's like shocking how similar some of the ancient culture art can be.
Yeah, and it always makes you wonder, because like especially like the Polynesians are known for being great sailors and sailing all over, how they discovered Hawaii and Tahiti and all these islands, and like so they had to be awesome sailors, and then the Celtic folks as well, like that region of Celtic and Norwegian and all those Viking type folks too that sail all over too. So it's like there had to be some kind of intermingling and like borrowing of cultural stuff back then, you'd think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
that would be super fascinating.
Yeah, and like back in the day,
those cultures.
Yeah, and like back in the day, that was it was like a sign of kind of respect and sharing. Like you'd trade for something, and like if they liked you, you liked them, you'd share something with each other, and now it's called cultural appropriation. So I don't know if that's
we're slowly marching toward that talk we were having earlier about like black and white and
yeah, totally.
These are not so simple.
No, it's not so simple, and I think that's the reason why that kind of bugs me a little bit too, is because like with my kiddos, and like, do I have to have like the census that says that my grandma's American Indian on it to like prove that my kiddo can be Pocahontas for Halloween? Like that's the part that kind of I think we're going away from that. But like a couple years ago, I was like, that was going through my brain when there was like everything was pretty woke. I was like, geez, man, like what if any kid wants to be Pocahontas?
True.
Like,
yeah, why not?
Why not, man? Like, I think it's awesome. Representing culture and like something they want to strive for, and like in like the movie of Pocahontas, it was like she was just like talking to being in touch with the earth, man. Like that's what we all should be striving for, like. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, Like also the beauty of freedom. I could be wrong,
Yeah, it's about growth.
Yeah, it's about growth and connection, right? And that's kind of like what that represents to me, man. I've been watching Pocahontas more lately, as you can probably tell.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
is it a favorite movie at the household?
Yeah, it's been on quite a bit. Like the song that she's singing to Smith, whatever his name is, something Smith.
Yeah.
Was it Smith?
John.
Johnny, yeah, real basic.
It's like
Old John Smith.
white guy.
Yeah, perfect. But like they're making their fort and cutting all the trees and like just kind of disrespecting the land and stuff and like trying to mine. They're looking for treasure and gold and stuff. And so she has her talk about like being respecting the earth and being connected with it. And the song's actually really good. And I'm sure there's some bad connotation that came from that, but like Disney and stuff. But I don't know, it's still a good message in that song though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it is weird. I've heard the argument many a time where it's hard to look back and then judge people by today's standards when they lived at a different time. And I feel like we can almost apply that to art, where it's like something is not made inherently racist in the time. They had a positive goal.
Yeah, especially a children's movie.
But perhaps it wasn't as sensitive as it could have been.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Where do you draw the line with this shit?
I know.
And it's tough being someone who, gives a shit today.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah,
I don't know exactly where to land on a lot of the stuff, but
yeah, because you do care. Like, a guy like us, like
be respectful to people.
Exactly.
And where they're from, their culture, sure.
Yeah, we avoid hurting people, especially a group of people. Like everyone, like unfortunately, the world we live in, someone's gonna get hurt by anything. Like it just. I think it's getting less and less. I think things are getting better, but people just want to be mad sometimes, and it's like, well, it's fine, but like you don't have to be. You can get mad and then maybe look into it a little bit more and figure out why something's making you mad. Is it justifiable, or maybe you just like caught you on a bad day and you're like, oh, I guess that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But
communication coming from a place of understanding is huge. And one of the things that I was super happy about is I've typically been around like very conservative, very like labor intensive folks my entire life, and my family's pretty conservative.
Yeah.
I don't really know where I fall. Like after all my experiences, military, everything, I'm kind of just like this weird, like I fucking hate everything.
Yeah. Well, I think that's,
but I go back to school, right, as an adult, and I'm like, all I'm told is like, it's this crybaby liberal shit. You're going to hate it, and everyone's ultra sensitive.
Yeah.
Not at all. The physics group that I studied with, very good friends, brutally racist to each other.
Yeah.
In just like the most over the top way. And it's because we all care about each other and we think all this, it's stupid. This poor dude is Catholic and we don't let him forget it.
Yeah.
It's everything we ever say to him has something tied in about how messed up the church is and like how stupid it is.
Yeah.
Which is not true. And we're totally kidding. Another woman is from El Salvador. She doesn't hear the end of it. Like, she constantly talks about how evil all the white people are. We laugh about it. We go out of our way for the ghoulish overkill just so we can laugh about the stupidity.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're all students of mathematics and physics and engineering students, and we all just have a good time with our studies, and we love the relationship that we have with our group.
Yeah.
And we laugh at it.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad for, and everybody feels pretty at home there.
Yeah, and comfortable and comfortable to say that stuff, and then if it did sting, you're like, ooh, that burns a little bit. You could actually say it, and and I would say I don't know any of these people. I would say almost 100% they'd be like, oh, my bad.
No, absolutely, yeah. If anything has ever been said that has made someone uncomfortable, it's been brought up and like, so that wasn't cool, and here's why. And everyone's very understanding.
Like, oh, yeah, I didn't know. Because you didn't have all the information on that person, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, actually, that something similar had happened, or whatever it might be, and you'd be like, oh, I'm really sorry, I did not know that.
Frankly, no line has quite been crossed yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
But sometimes you got to tiptoe to kind of find where it is. I think, especially in friend groups, you start.
I blasted over one. I told a story about my friend's sister. To a group, and I did not know she wanted that kept secret, but it was like nothing to do with the ridiculous shit we say to each other. She's like, could you not tell people things about my family? I was like, I didn't even realize that was a sensitive topic for you. Like,
whoops,
that was very public information that I was giving. So
was it about a t-shirt?
Say again.
So was it about a t-shirt? My bad. I
It
didn't mean to throw you off.
No, you're good. But it was one of those things where it's like, no, I'm really glad you brought that up. I had no idea that you felt that way.
Yeah.
And move right past it.
Yeah, exactly. Like like you said, just acknowledging and apologizing. Like, yeah, I didn't mean it.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. I won't do it again. And then hopefully they're okay with that apology and like understanding that we're all humans and like you don't know until you know. And
pretty much, yeah. And it's like, yeah, if if I'm being sincere, this will not be a problem again.
Yeah.
Obviously. And if it continues to be a problem, then obviously I'm not worth hanging out with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want that person in your life. And that's also like
Right.
kind of like we tied into like with relationship stuff, like friendship relationship stuff, where it's like, man, you're only because the standard, you're only as good as the people you hang around with. You know, my dad preached that all the time as I was a kid. You are who you hang out with, and
The company you keep.
yeah, 100%. And I heard Pat McAfee say this, and I was trying to put this on my Instagram. He's like, you can't do A+ shit with D+ people.
Yo.
Yeah,
That's good.
I know. I was like, and Pat McAfee said that. I was like,
And you're attacking my childhood,
yeah,
Pat.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that hurts. I was,
That hurts, man.
it's a D+ guy trying to do A+ stuff. You know. But
No,
yeah,
I think it's a skill we gain though. You get older and you're like, I don't know if this is who I want to spend my time around. Or you know, on the flip side of that, you meet great people and you recognize like, oh, okay, this is important.
Yeah, and kind of relating back to like what you were saying, people were talking about going to college and like you're just gonna find these one people. It's like you're broad stroking such a giant population, you know,
Right.
like with your your stereotype. It's like, well, how do you know? You know, like
Yeah, you don't.
know. And typically it's like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and usually like not that many squeaky wheels. You know, it's just like
Truly.
a small portion of the population that's upset about something and voicing their opinion on it. You know, and it's like that's their right. You know. And they have the freedom to do that, and it's fine, you know. But
it was the best pleasant surprise for me because I also got roped into a lot of math classes. I say roped in. I started taking math classes because it was part of the general education program. Turns out I loved it, and then like a year later, it's like, oh shit, I'm a math major.
I know.
I'm through the calculus series, and I love this.
That's so cool, dude.
So I go to work in the math department, and I think incorrectly at first, like it's gonna be a bunch of math teachers.
Yeah.
They like probably go home and like eat saltines and go to sleep.
Yeah, play around
No.
with T89 calculators.
Actually, they like mountaineering and death metal. And I was like, oh shit, it's my people.
Yeah, man.
What? And yeah, I was so pleasantly surprised by these folks who like to rock climb and hike and do mountaineering stuff and do like football kayak. Didn't even know that was a thing.
I know. Yeah, that's the first time I've heard that.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like rock music, or this one dude, I shouldn't say his name, huge into like psychedelics and floating rivers for like a week trip long.
Wow.
I was like, didn't expect that out of you. You seem kind of straight laced.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to be able to talk to different people and meet everyone from every different kind of
walk of life,
background.
right?
Yeah, so many different walks of life, because you do have the people who are, one teacher who's like, I'm a mom and like I do this as my job and I go home and I take care of my kids and I go to bed.
Yeah.
Totally fine. And she loves her life and that's perfect.
Yeah.
And then you have this other lady who's like, death metal concerts and rock climbing. I'm like, I want to hang out with you.
yeah. I'm into that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be friends. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's super fun being able to
Those are the best surprises in life to me,
Truly,
man.
yeah,
Like you go in expecting one thing, it's a complete opposite, and ends up being better than you could even imagine.
It opened my eyes to like, dude, judging books by their cover. Stop.
Yeah, dude, it's one of those things, man. It's just like it just sneaks up on all of us, I think, man.
does.
Like you just are like, okay, I know I've been around these kind of people before, and then like you give them a chance, you know, because like being a good person like you are, and like me, I hope, I could give them a chance. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, you're way cooler than me, and way cooler than I thought, you know. Like
You're way cooler than I thought you'd be.
yeah.
Yes. Give people a chance, man. Don't assume too much.
Yeah, and don't totally close doors and judge. You know,
Yeah.
like even if you are judging, try to move through because we're all guilty of it. You know,
God.
so it's like, but knowing it, right? Like knowing yourself. Like, man, something I'd heard like that was kind of residual. That was going through. It was weird because like I'd kind of heard like references to it, and I'll just say the phrase. So I don't keep dancing around. The phrase is "know thyself." You know, it's a strong phrase that's been around like, and been written in caves and stuff. And the reason why I know that part is because this guy named Micah Fink, who has a great veteran program called Heroes and Horses. It's
Is that what it sounds like?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, veteran for veteran rehabilitation and using horses to help in the process, and
That's awesome.
just having the connection with horses and being responsible for a creature and learning how to be safe and work with them, and it's a lot of physical stuff. I think I don't think there's any hot water in the compound, and Micah Fink, he's ex spec ops, I would say Navy SEAL, and like he did some CIA work. And if people are interested, you can go on, you can look him up on. He was on Jocko Podcast. I think they did like a 5-hour one.
Oh wow.
It was really good. And
Nice.
he talks about like that became, they'd have a model for each class I went through, and then finally it was almost like that was dancing around know thyself, and then finally he just pinned down know thyself. He's like, that's the most important thing that I can relay to these folks, and so that's like above the lodge door or something like that. And he traces it back to like being on caves and all this past, historic things that refer to just knowing thyself. And like, if you know who you are and what you want, it's way easier to put your foot forward and start a future.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so I was like, dang, that's super powerful.
Yeah, and it escapes many of it. It escapes me.
Yeah.
More often than I realize it does.
Yeah, same. And but like also having a little bit of awareness, right? Like we were just talking, like knowing, like going into something, like knowing that you're like feeling a little standoffish because you're like, man, I don't know if this is for me.
Yeah.
But knowing that about yourself and pushing forward and having an open mind and just trying it, and then like you said, all of a sudden, like you're hanging out with these people that you'd not think you connect with, and like you connect with them more than most people,
Yeah. It's like, what?
Yeah, like that stuff's so cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so many opportunities like that in the world too. Like even for me when I went back to college and actually like hung out with some other folks, and it, like saying like the people you hang out with, and when you have a higher caliber people that you hang out with, you try to be like them and add to the group and be better yourself.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never wanted to go to the gym so much as when I was living with my roommate in the military, and also one of my best buddies, because he's a gym rat. And now he's a freaking bodybuilder. He's which is super cool for him.
Yeah.
I love that. But yeah, it's like back when we were kids, I could kind of take her to leave it. And he was like, no, dude, let's go. And I'm like, all right, you're right. Let's go. And just little influences like that are important.
Yeah, man. And then for me, like being receptive on the not aftermath, but like you do something and it creates what's the word I'm looking for, like the results, I guess, but like I was thinking of a better term of how like the benefits of it, I don't know, the side effects, I guess, of going to the gym, for me is like mental clarity, strength and core, and just all around health. I feel like I sleep better,
Oh yeah.
I have more patience, and being strong feels like I feel better. Like and people think it's like, oh, because you can squat or bench this much or whatever. No, I mean like it's a little bit of that, like being strong in that sense, but also it's like, no, I can do my daily activities. I can push a lawn more. I can pick things up. I can, change a tire. Yeah. And I also like, especially when I was fighting fire, I can carry a saw. I can take an impact. I can take a tumble. And I got, especially when I was smoking, like take that impact, like and have a better outcome than being, mushy mashed potato body. And, like that impact. Yeah, exactly. That impact goes right to your joints or your bones, and like, hard enough impact's going to go through any kind of muscle, but like you can cushion things a little bit better by having a harder shell,
Absolutely. And it brings that confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you feel good, look good, look good, feel good, Either way. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, even before you see like crazy results, you will start feeling better just with the things that you would mention, like a better sleep schedule,
Yeah. And then typically too, it's like other people notice it in you first. They're like, like, oh man, like, you worn that T-shirt before? It could be like one of your main shirts, You're like,
every other day.
Yeah, yesterday. They're like, man, it looks really good on you. You're like, oh, thank you. Like stuff, and you may not even notice the transformation yet because you see your body every day. But for someone who doesn't see all the time, they'd be like, man, looking good, man. They're like, what you been up to? Like, oh, I just got back in a workout routine. Yeah, exactly, man. And I just function better and all that. Speaking of function, what time is it?
9:51, according to the oven.
According to the oven? Oh, man, the oven is spot on, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, I probably should wrap this sucker up, my friend.
Sorry, I could talk all night, dude.
Yeah, same, man. This is great. Like, I didn't want to, like, I was kind of shooting for like an hour and a half because I didn't want to keep you up. And
oh, I don't mind at all.
Head back to home. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you having me, man. Like, this is awesome. Like, like, I'm obviously a big fan of Lookout, so it means in my name, Lookout Podcast. Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I can just wax poetic and just ramble all night about, life in general.
Yeah.
I feel like we kind of get off topic, so I apologize for that.
No, it's good. I mean, that's what this is kind of for. It's just like exploring other ideas, and like it always it always kind of laces back through to the outdoors and mental health, whatever you're going for, and experiences, man. Like life's about the experiences, and when you're talking about going to college and meeting new people and having new experiences, it reminded me of the old Mark Twain quote where, oh man, I'm gonna butcher this because it's super long, but it's like, travel is futile to bigotry, narrow-mindedness, and I don't know, selfishness or something. And he said most of the population are needing it sorely. I gotta look it up so I can do a better version of this. But
sounds great.
Yeah, like that quote is so accurate, man. And that Mark Twain, like the one picture that went along with the quote is him on like this very old looking vessel traveling across the ocean, probably. And it's like it was true back then and it's true now,
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can actually find the sucker in a relative, short period of time.
Oh,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Your story about the chopper coming real close to you in a vulnerable moment.
Yeah, very vulnerable.
I had something funny happen to me last year. I was surprisingly not embarrassed when this happened, but I was laying outside and I was naked, just kind of hanging out one day, soaking up the sun. I mean, I hadn't seen anyone in like 4 days. I was like, I'm probably safe to do this.
Getting some vitamin D.
But I was just laying there reading a book, and this biplane came out of nowhere, came ripping around the mountain. They were super low in the canyon, so I could not hear or see them coming up. They circled not just once, but twice. So I don't know. They saw for sure. I don't know if they were taking pictures or what. But it's just the first thing, like, kind of lower my book. I was like, creep. I'm not getting and running up. Like, I'm not getting up and running and changing. Like, I'm staying right here. I'm going to keep reading my book.
Oh, man.
And they flew off, and I was a lot less embarrassed than I imagined I would have been.
Oh, you got the confidence. How long ago was this?
Last year.
Oh, yeah. See, man, yeah. You're starting to get the drill band confidence. And that kind of brings me to like what I was going to reference earlier when, talking about like our stories and stuff. I feel like we have just enough life perspective to, add a little bit to whoever might be listening to this. Like, I'm 37. We're tickling 40. I know I got a lot to learn, but also like if what we're talking about can help anybody who's, going through some growing pains and figuring stuff out, man. And like just little tips, man, of what we've learned. We're not experts and,
By no means,
man. And like, we're not going to be the absolute best for this, but also, man, we've lived it. We got some experience to share, and, having those relationships and those things that we talked about this, like, and surrounding yourself with good people, like, is very important, man. And
truly.
Yeah, you notice it, dude. You like when you get around some better folks and higher caliber people and higher caliber partners, someone brings you up and gets you out of bed, like that's huge. That was like on my criteria, like.
It was a hard lesson for me.
Yeah.
Hopefully less so for other people moving forward.
Exactly. I think we've all had that, man. Like, or like you get somebody who's like selling a lifestyle that they're not actually living and they like the idea of it, but then, so you get involved in a relationship and happens to so many folks and it's like, wait a minute, you told me you were like into all this outdoorsy stuff and you hate camping. It's like, that all involves camping,
I've heard that.
Yeah, totally. Like,
about 20 steps into a hike. It's hot. It's cold. There's bugs. Why are we out here?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, you don't like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do we have to stay in the tent? Like, well, this is what camping is. Like, like, oh, man.
And that's it. It all comes back to that communication thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So open and honest with each other. And if someone tells you, I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. You're going to save a lot of heartache.
Yeah, but well, like I kind of want somebody in my life that likes to share these adventures. So
that's huge.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also like so much easier to part ways at that point, right? You're like, oh, all right, my bad. I thought this was kind of in your thing too, but
yeah, totally fine.
Like you do what you enjoy, I'm gonna do what I enjoy, and I'll see you around sometime. Like makes everything better, and then you do, especially if you're a small town kid like me, like you run into those folks again. So like, like hey, Czar's a dick, but if
Czar's a dick,
yeah, or you're still mad because you can't let it go, instead of being like, hey man, I can't make it like me, and you're not the same person. We don't mash. We're into different things, like we don't mesh is what I meant to say, and like totally fine, like. No one, you don't have to, you don't have to. And there's so many people on this planet, man. Like there's one out there for you. There's one of the same things, unless you're like a very, very, I mean, you have to be real strange, like real weird, real, like, I don't even know.
Stop being a serial killer.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was kind of leaning towards, serial killer. I mean, maybe we'll find another one, I guess. But yeah.
Please don't.
Please don't. Yeah, don't do that. Not healthy. We're talking about healthy things. Be healthy, be kind to each other. But I found that quote too. Did I cut you off? Were you saying something?
Nope.
All right. The story. Yeah. I don't want to cut you off your story. I just started thinking about like other stuff and just like, your age and my age, and be able to share just like some experiences and stuff that we learned on our journey in this life, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that was good with the plane story, being a creep.
Yeah, totally, man. But it kind of tied into like, you know, you being an older guy and just like as a younger person, you'd be like, oh shoot, you know, like, run away. But yeah, it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. At this point, I'm like, you're in my front lawn. Like, what? Can I help you?
Yeah, exactly. You need directions? Sula Peak.
Air to ground. What do you want?
Yeah, exactly. Sula Peak to aircraft.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, I had a story about that, but I'll keep going. So found the Mark Twain quote I was looking for, though. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, you familiar with any of the Mark Twain quotes? Probably. I mean, they're pretty common.
I was going to say, I've heard a few.
Yeah.
But I am shamefully not as up as I'd like to be.
Yeah, I know. I like sometimes, like especially in the winter, like if I got some downtime, I'll, like this winter, I was, the Lorax story in book, I always thought was interesting because it's kind of like a Forest Service or, you know, forest friendly cartoon. You know, I mean, like what happens it isn't, you know, they you know, massacre a forest and logging, but looking for, you know, that
whole smoggy planet.
Yeah, totally, because they're trying to make the whatever the sweater thing's called, you know. And but you know, the story's good, you know, like taking care of the planet and the animals and stuff, you know. And the Lorax is like a steward of the forest, you know, like a forester himself.
So we're all growing out those mustaches.
Yeah, God, I wish I could, man. It's so big and beautiful, you know. A little hairball. Maybe that's me in old age, age 60.
Striving to be the Lorax.
Yeah, just a little bald mustache with fur.
It's Luke. He speaks for the trees.
Yeah, exactly. I speak for the trees. Yeah, exactly, man. Oh, dude. Yeah, you got a good memory.
Sorry, the quote.
No, it's good. But yeah, so back to the Mark Twain quote. Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness, and many of our people need it sorely on these accounts. Broad, wholesome, charitable views of men and things cannot be acquired by vegetating in one little corner of the earth all one's lifetime. So, Mark Twain. Which, like I said, is accurate then as it is now, man. Like, you just
I'd agree.
Get that narrow view of the world if you don't get out and see things, man. See what people are up to and what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, got to meet folks, got to meet people.
Right.
And, like, actually, well, I'll just keep going. But yeah, story for another time. But, yeah, I got something I can tag onto that later. So maybe the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to schedule another one of these, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think. Today's August 4th. So, I mean, you only got
I've got
a couple more weeks.
Less than a month. Yeah,
less than a month. So, try to get one in maybe before you leave. But
that'd be great.
Yeah,
I'd love to. Maybe we could include Jen or Ellie.
Oh, that'd be good. I've never been to Deer Mountain. My vocabulary's starting to fail. You know,
a little tongue tied towards the end of the night.
I know go Deer Mountain. You know, like I'm just starting to just drop words.
Oh my gosh, it's like how you speak on the fire crew at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, like you, man, your brain is like Joy had a great term for hot brain. You know, like you just start losing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you start just losing words out of your vocabulary. Like hungry, yes. You know?
Hungry now.
Hungry now, yeah. Luke, need food.
Angry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Me angry. Me
Are you a
food.
human or are you a creature?
Yeah, just get in a caveman mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a bad deal. But yeah, going to Deer Mountain would be super cool or something like you said. Or you know, I even thought about like hiking to Boulder Point one of these times. So.
Dude, that would be cool.
Yeah, Boulder Point would be super cool. I haven't been in there yet, so we'll plan something, man. Well, I just want to give a quick shout out to folks that I saw in Stevensville the other night. Didn't mean to give you the cold shoulder. I was waving, but like apparently we did not see. Well, I saw you guys waving, but you didn't see me waving. It was kind of a quick one. But I had to kind of rush to get home. So next time, if y'all see me down there in Stevensville and you give a wave, I'll swing by and maybe give you some stickers and talk shop a little bit. So appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys messaging me about following the podcast, and that support goes a long way. Let me tell you, like I really appreciate it because you know, been at this for a while, and sometimes you don't know if you're really onto something or if you're just kind of like annoying people. So it's good to get the good feedback, you know.
It's like my chronic worry about this.
Yeah. Like, but in the end of the day, you know, it's I just enjoy doing it. It's an excuse to hang out with you and share some stories. And
likewise.
Yeah, and get up in a cool place, and not too people get to see this or get to go to a lookout, so we get to share our experience with somebody that, you know, maybe that wouldn't have a chance to to see a lookout and see an actual lookout and see how it operates, you know?
True.
So, yeah. And
Cool. Have you done like a little tour before of one on the podcast where you're like, okay, this is the living situation, this is the Alidade, stuff like that?
no, but maybe that.
Maybe we should do this again.
Yeah.
Next time on the Dating Advice Podcast.
The dating advice podcast. Yeah, the Lookout dating podcast. Yeah.
No.
Life advice from the Lookout.
That'd be cool to add a little snippet, though, to your video. Like, this is just my idea, but picture or video of the Alidade, how it works, stuff like that.
It's really good call, man. Yeah, especially, give people a little bit more familiarity with it, because it's those type of things like I had to get really good at and I'm still, not really good. I had to get better at acronyms and trying to explain like the stupid flip and IA and like some of the things that we use Type 6 engines.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff that like is common vocabulary in our world, and just like, using Alidade and the lookout situation. Like everybody in the Forest Service and Wildland Fire, I think, a really good idea of how it works, but like there's not that many of these out there, especially ones that are actually functioning. So for folks, like, especially, some of the folks that are following me, thank you, that are not in the Northwest who don't, or Southwest, there's lookouts there, California too, but there's actually a few back east too. So they're sprinkled around, but some other folks don't have experience with this, or maybe even like live around here that just don't know much about them, man. Like, that's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little tutorial.
Maybe
The next one. So like, because right now it'll be okay, but it looks like we're just in a box, like a dark box right now, like there's no views. So next time we'll do it with the sun out, so you can kind of get a little bit of the mountain background and a little more of the aesthetics.
That would be cool too. I don't know what your days off are. I usually have Thursdays.
Oh, Thursday?
Like every other Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, I can make like a Thursday evening work or something maybe. Like, yeah.
Get up here with the sun still.
Yeah, just come pop in right after work, and that's a good call, man. We'll do follow-up one, like you said, more dating advice.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's all the advice I have. So.
I was like, it should come from you. You're the one who's married.
Yeah, well, I have a success story, but I don't know, But the problem with advice, though, it's like it was working for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for you or anybody else. Like it's just, but that's also the fun thing, right? Like it's everyone's own journey, man. Like
it's a unique journey.
It is, man. Like there's no way that because unless my wife was a clone and you were a clone of me somehow, that it would be the same situation. Even then, like, who knows? With life experiences coming up, it might just be totally different.
Right.
So, which is part of the fun, I think. So. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been tuning in and following me, and the podcast is growing a little bit, and I'm going to start trying to do some more promotion stuff, maybe get a Patreon going here soon, so people can help out the old, and part of that is because the old Airstream, my 65 Airstream that I've been working on, is slowly rattling apart as well, so I'm having to put a little more money into that sucker, so like, getting a Patreon going, getting some folks to help kind of donate with the project to, help get that thing to life and get a little bit more equipment, like we were talking, like a upgrade on the camera setup and a few other things to help get out some more quality on the podcast and
get that headquarters set up, man.
Yeah, that's kind of what I need. I like to travel, the mobile ability of the Airstream, and it's kind of iconic being 65, but. Yeah, I think eventually I'll have to have a home base somewhere at least, and maybe at least a place to park it, like just in a central location like Missoula or something where I can meet folks,
Thought about taking it to the office?
Yeah. I brought it to the office a few times.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, parking it over there, so I definitely wouldn't leave it there.
Yeah, probably not.
No. But yeah, man, thanks again for doing this. I really appreciate you, dude.
Thanks for coming up, man. It's a pleasure, always.
Oh yeah, same, man. Pleasure's all mine, dude. And I appreciate you having me. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who's been following me and checking me out. And I got some more cool podcasts to come. So stay with me, and we'll keep it going. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.